We are live for another episode of the panel. UFC 310, going to be a great pay-per-view, and I'm back with my co-host, as always, Tyler 138 MMA. And today we are joined by two great guests. We got Cody in the bottom left over there, and we got Propaholic on the right. I'm wondering why all our names aren't showing.
It should be on the side. You can change that, like the banners or something or the branding or something like that.
That's weird.
It's definitely a thing.
You guys can't see the names either, right?
Oh no. Yeah, it's under the where it says it's like branding or like
presets, brand color, theme.
Brand color. Click on that.
There we go. There we are.
I got you.
Green, because we do green here.
We do green here.
There we go.
Nice.
Okay, now we can continue on with the show. So we got Cody, we got Propaholic. What's up, guys? So I'll pass around the mic. We'll talk about how we're feeling about the card, and then we'll jump right into it because we got 14 fights to talk about, and I'm hyped for this one. I'm a little annoyed that Tyler gets UFC 311 on his channel because that card is sick, but I'll take this one. This one's pretty good too. Tyler, how you feeling about the card, bro?
For the most part, really good. There's a couple of fights that I wouldn't mind if I wasn't like a prediction person, because then you have to like make a pick on it, and that's annoying. But if I wasn't in that situation, this would be a great card. Otherwise, it's like a pretty good card. So I'm looking forward to it. Some matchups I really like, but like you said, 311 is even better. So
Sarukian's coming for that strap, baby. Let's go.
Sarukian's getting killed, dude.
Get out of here.
It's
Leave now.
It's not even close.
Prop, how you feeling about this card, brother? Thanks for coming on. It's been a minute.
Yeah, of course, man. It's been a minute. I'm really excited for this card. I mean, I haven't taped the card in 3 months. I haven't bet a card in 3 months, so I felt like it was the perfect card to come back for. And yeah, I'm really excited. I like every fight from bottom to top. Can't wait to talk fights with you guys and get into it.
Maybe now you'll get that beginner's luck again since you've been gone for 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
I've never done as well as I did my first few months betting. Cody, how you feeling about the card, bro?
Oh, yeah, man. Like y'all said, man, I'm excited for this card. It's a fire card. I mean, yeah, 311 is shaping up to be maybe even better, but I don't know. I really like this card. I love the 14 fight cards. Yeah, it's a lot of extra work for us that do all this content, but I've enjoyed it. It has been a busy week of content. I went live today. I went live yesterday. I'm going live tomorrow. So been a lot. I'm glad I could hop on here last minute with you guys. So shout out to whoever got injured and had to pull out. Happy to join you guys for a great card. Some spots. I actually have a lot of action on this card, so we'll get into it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this week's panel with the guests has been pretty interesting. You guys know how sometimes there's a fight planned, right? And then like somebody will drop out, and then they get a replacement, and then the other original person drops out, and you end up with a completely new fight. That's pretty much what happened here. But I'm glad you guys are here.
It's the equivalent of when Anthony Smith fought Roman Dolidze. It was like neither of them were originally scheduled to fight.
It was like Olberg Hill, then Olberg Smith.
Yeah.
That's
what we got tonight.
That's when I was.
I know all about that. Believe me, doing my because it's actually even worse doing it the way like my show is, because it's like a competition. So I try to match people up based on like the rankings. So it's even more of a pain in the ass, because I'll be like, all right, this makes sense because of the rankings, or for whatever reason the matchup just makes sense, and then somebody pulls out, and then somebody else, I put them in because it makes sense, but then the other person pulls out, so then the whole matchup makes no sense. Then I end up stepping up with 30 minutes left.
Yeah, hit me up for like 3 times in a row.
Oh yeah, 138's been like Mr. Clutch.
He's the
like
Danny
the guy I call when I've tried to not bother him too much. Like there's been a couple times like, man, he's already done short notice like 3 times.
3.
But then I'm like, all right, fuck it. Let me just see if he's open. And then he's like, yep, I got you. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I'll be doing it for my car. Probably still in my gi, but we'll make it work.
Yeah.
The pink one?
On Wednesdays we wear pink, and it's
Nice.
usually Wednesdays. If you get the
Okay,
reference,
okay.
you know.
Commitment.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the card. We got 14 fights to talk about. First one, we got Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Lucas Bresky. Tyler, start us off for this banger.
Yeah, so there's a couple of fights on this card that, like, for a prediction standpoint, I'm not excited for. This is one of them because, like, yeah, Kennedy should win, but I say that, but then, like, how many times have we thought that, and then he just doesn't do what he's supposed to do? So yeah, I think he wins. I think there's a reason he's a big favorite, but we've been burnt by him as a pretty big favorite before. You know, we've been burnt by him as a moderate favorite before. So yeah, I mean, I think he wins. I mean, Bresky's 1-4 in his last 5 fights, and like
Should be 2-3 though. He beat Budai.
Okay, I mean, it was close enough, but either way, like, he hasn't looked good. Let's put it that way. But either is Kennedy, really. So, like, do I think the line's wide? Sure. So, like, I guess if the line is wide, does that mean I should bet Bresky? Probably, but I'm not going to because I think it's absurd. It's like, yeah, maybe the line's wide. Like, maybe he has, like, maybe if they ran this fight 10 times, he wins like 0.2 or maybe more than 0.2. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just a throw away your money type of thing.
If you think he wins only 0.2 times, you should be hammering Kennedy right now.
Yeah, but like, no, like, there is a fight on this card that I think the line isn't wide enough and it's already wide, but this one's not it. Kennedy's like, I just can't trust the guy. You never know what's going to show up. And it's not like Bresky couldn't just land something. So yeah, Kennedy's the pick. I hate this fight for the fact that I have to make content on it.
All right. Prop, how about you, brother?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm picking Kennedy to win, but on a betting perspective, I actually like the over 1.5. I don't think Kennedy's gonna put Bresky away that early. I actually think he's just gonna sit there, throw T kicks like he did to Barnett, and it actually took him 4.5 minutes to get Barnett out of there. And we obviously know what happened to Barnett before that fight. And I think Kennedy's just gonna try to wear him in the clinch a little bit. I don't really think Bresky has the power to hurt him. And I feel like McParkin and Cortez Acosta actually have more power than Kennedy. And I feel like Kennedy's not going to bull rush these guys like he did in light heavyweight and got knocked out like he did in the Jacoby fight. I think he's going to respect Bresky. He's also taking his fight on short notice as well. So, yeah, I like the over 1.5. And I like Kennedy by points. I have plus 370 on FanDuel as well. So, yeah, give me the over and Kennedy by points.
All right. Cody, how about you?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't have a crazy hot take on this, except, yeah, I do think Kennedy should be a big favorite. I think he wins. I actually, my little bit of a hot take, I don't think it's too spicy, but I like Kennedy by sub, man. I bet him by sub, plus 800. I get he only has, like, 2 submissions on his record. Brzezinski's, what is he? He's never actually been subbed, actually. But I think if Kennedy wants to make this fight easy, he's the much bigger guy. He's going to have a big strength advantage. He's a much better grappler. Does he have lights out wrestling? No, but if he attempts a couple takedowns, I think he gets on top. So go out here and make this fight easy, man. Don't get me wrong, gun to my head, I'm sure the TKO is the most likely path to victory, but I think 8-1 is a good line, man. So I went ahead and put a little something on that. I would not be surprised at all if he submits this dude. So give me Kennedy. Like I said, the pick would be TKO, but the line on that isn't good. Give me that sub 8-1.
All right, there we go. I was laughing because literally right before you went, I was looking at the props. I was looking at Kennedy's sub because it came to me. And plus 700 isn't bad. I also think we're going over. I did bet the over 1.5. I think I took it at minus 140 or minus 145. And I like it. Kennedy isn't really coming out here and one-shotting people. Bresky, I think he's relatively durable. I'm a little concerned now after Mick Parkin knocking him out in the first round. That isn't my favorite thing because I don't think Parkin hits very hard either. And Kennedy's filled in really well. I like him at heavyweight. I think it was a good move for him. He's a giant as it is, and he looks huge at heavyweight too. So maybe he does get him out of there early, but I kind of see this being tentative early on. Bresky's the kind of guy where he's like stick and move. And Kennedy's kind of flat-footed. He's just going to be following him around. I think we get some clinch work in there too. like Cody said, if Kennedy's smart, he could probably grapple here. Hopefully that will kill some time on the clock too. I think Breshke's submission defense is decent at least. Don't really see like an early sub. So yeah, I like the over, but it's possible Kennedy runs through him. At the same time, I also think Breshke's kind of live. I love losing money on Breshke. I think I've bet him every single time he's lost, except maybe like, no, I think I did it every time. I don't know if I did it against Parkin or not, but I bet him against Budai, which was a fantastic bet. But then lost on him in his other ones, cashed him against Walker. And like, this is a fight he could win if Kennedy chokes, because Kennedy, I think, is the better striker, the cleaner striker at range. He's better. I think the teep kicks of Kennedy are a sick weapon for him, especially at heavyweight. But Breshke's a pretty good striker in his own right. He's not bad at all. He's got good output. So I think he's live. But rather than pick a side and lose money on Breshke or lay Kennedy into a parlay, I just took that over.
Smart. I do like that over, actually. That's a good play.
I also bet him against Budai, and that one hurt. But then I did cash him over Walker.
We kind of got our money back in that one, but would have been nice to get both.
Yeah, for sure.
He was like plus 250 against Budai. I was so confident I had 2 units on him. I was counting my money right before the decision, and then
Budai is trash, bro. He's fucking
So
terrible.
Right.
I hate saying that, honestly. I try to be respectful, but dear God, he's so boring.
He's bad.
Yeah.
Is he cut?
I don't
know.
He could be after that Arlowski performance. Dear God. Fucking 43-year-old, and you got to hold him up against the cage to scrape out a controversial decision. Fucking
that's always his game.
Fight.
He's a
I
clinch.
thought he lost that fight too. Against Arlowski.
I had Arlowski bet, so of course I thought he lost. I also hate Budai clearly, but I'm biased as hell. So everybody was like, "You're biased, bro." I'm like, "Yes, I am," but also Arlowski won.
He did. Arlowski won that.
All right, let's move on. We just spent almost 12 minutes on Breshke to Chukwu. Next fight up, we've got, I think this is the widest line on the card. I'm pretty certain. Yeah, it is. We got Chase Hooper versus Clay Guida. Prop, start us off here. You on Guida?
Oh no, definitely not. I'm on Hooper here. Obviously, I'm inside a hot take. I actually got the sub at plus 125 for a unit, and then
where
on a bet online, it was there for like 30 minutes, like literally for like 25, 30 minutes. I gave it to my quarter plus 125, and then I took the KO at plus 750 for like 0.15 units, just so basically I can win a unit on him inside the distance, if anything, if he doesn't sub him. But yeah, I think he's going to submit him, man. I mean, I just think Guida at this level, being 43 years old, I just don't think it's good for him, man. Like, I think Hooper's going to get him down. I think he's going to submit him pretty easy, honestly. Like, if Guida's going to win this fight, he's going to have to knock Hooper out, and I just don't see that. Like, I don't think he's going to Steve Garcia him. So, yeah, give me Hooper by sub. It could be a rear naked choke. It could be a heel hook. It could be a Darce. I mean, it could be anything. So, yeah, give me Hooper submission. It could be any round, honestly.
All right. How about you, Cody?
Yeah, I think the submissions, some people might say, oh, square play, but honestly, say if it hits, it hits. And I think these guys had a grappling match. Obviously, you've probably heard about it all week, but it was not competitive. Guida took him down, immediately got calf slicered. That's not really a submission. You're hitting on people that are at your level of grappling. Typically, some people are specialists, but I'm not calf slicer and experts in jiu-jitsu. That's typically something, unless I catch you in a scramble, that's something I hit to like fuck around on the white belt. So we'd already beat Claudio Puelles. Now it's Chase's. Hey, hopefully it's embarrass the state of jiu-jitsu again like that. Dear God.
Didn't Chase butcher Puelles though? Or no, that was Corralish. I always mix them up.
Yeah. But no, I think Hooper wins. And honestly, I think he does like Guida and respects him. I don't think he's going to want to like hurt him, like knock him out. I think he probably looks for the submissions, even if he gets to like mount and he can rain down elbows. Don't get me wrong. If push comes to shove, I'm sure he's willing to fucking brutalize him. But, I think he'll be looking for the subs. Maybe that's just the PTSD because I had Hooper by KO over Borshev and I was just screaming at my TV for the ref to stop the fight. But yeah. I think Hooper submits him now. Not a hot take. Guida's been submitted like 25 times, but Yeah, we can move. Or who's up, Tyler?
Nah, it's my turn. But yeah, I tend to agree. Like you said, it's the square play. I'm not playing it at this point just because it's like minus 175, and I'll jump off a cliff if he gets the TKO. But I would have played plus money, even though it's square. To me, it's like a Lapalus decision. You know, it's square, yeah, but it hits. It hits almost every time. But here, I do feel like he could get that TKO. Clay he gives up the sub. That's the issue. He's been subbed 11 times. He gives up that sub when he's in bad positions. And Hooper's really filled in now. He's stronger. He's more physical. He's not a little noodle anymore. Like back in the day, I used to fade him all the time. I faded him with Caceres. I faded him with Pete Barrett. I faded him with who's the guy after Barrett, the one who actually beat him?
Garcia, wasn't it?
No, before Garcia. There's another one. Peterson.
Oh, yeah. He loses to anybody named Steve.
Yeah. Peterson, I bet against him. But now he's like really filled in. I still wouldn't call his striking that good, but I think it's certainly improved. You can tell he has some power. Slava is a little bit chinny, but knocking him down is pretty impressive. I don't think most people saw that coming. And yeah, not really that much to say. I think he's going to catch Clay in something on the feet. Like Guida could be competitive in the striking, but we know Clay's going to shoot sooner or later. And then I think Hooper's going to take advantage. And I think Hooper could take him down too. Clay's got pretty good takedown defense, but I think Hooper can get him down. And then, yeah, take his back, either get the sub or get the TKO at this point, because everyone's still only playing the sub and the KO prop is going higher and higher. I might end up betting it. It's like plus 700 now, and I would probably play it already, but I'm just going to wait. Maybe I'll get something even better. And then if it drops back down, I'm fine not having money on this fight. How about you, Tyler?
So this is pretty wild, but I don't think the money line's wide enough. I think there's still value at minus whatever 1,000 it's at right now, because I cannot see a single possibility short of just like a freak accident that Guida wins the fight. I know that's crazy to say. Guida's like a legend and all this stuff. He turns 43 on Sunday. He's definitely seen his best days in the rearview mirror. You can still lay the money. I think I can't remember what was like minus 750 or something. I laid the money line on Hooper because it's just like, I know it's juiced to the gills, but just do it. It's like, it's fine. It's safe. You're getting your return. It doesn't matter. It could be minus 10,000 and it's safe. He can't lose this fight short of a freak accident. Maybe 10,000 freak accident gets to be
famous last words. No,
there's just no way. I am so confident. There's no way he loses. Like what can Guida do? His path to victory in every fight these days is duck his head, swing wild shots to back you up against the cage, grab your legs, pull you to your butt, and then do that over and over every time you stand back up. That's how he wins fights. That's not going to work here. So yeah. Hooper is. I'd never say it's a lock, but like, I mean, Hooper's a lock. I mean, short of like a freak accident. That's the only way.
I feel like now I have to bet Clay.
Do it.
I think
I strongly believe in drinks, and I feel like you might have just ruined Chase's career.
Nah, I don't believe in superstition. It's BS.
I think Guida's gonna come in there with that fucking frantic striking style and try to just kickbox.
Yeah. You're gonna try to take
Even if he does that, is he gonna have success? No,
I don't think so. But
Guida KO plus 2,200.
When's the last time we've seen like Guida throw a straight shot?
I don't know.
Straight shots are fake, bro. They're for liberals. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
He ducks his head and does these now until that's all. I like
straight shots are a myth, bro.
He just isn't gonna get this one. It's like
I
bet Clay Guida in his fight against Silva. I bet Clay Guida there, and it was competitive enough, but it's a different style matchup. This is just not going to work for him.
All right. I think we can move on from the minus 1,200 Chase Hooper.
We
get to a little bit more of a competitive fight. We got Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin, and I am very interested in all of your takes. Cody, start us off for this one.
Oh, man, I'm starting us off on this one. That's tough because this is probably the hardest fight on the entire card for me to call, honestly. It's just a 50-50 fight for me, man. Like when I first saw this one, I thought I'd be putting something on Max Griffin. Stylistically, I was just like, okay, probably outlands him, probably going to go to decision, probably stuffs most of the takedowns. But I will say the problem with Max is he doesn't separate a ton. That's why it's tough if you're at least now Chiesa is like ever so slight favorite, basically even money. I will say if Chiesa wins, he'd be the fighter who I could see like separating. Like I could see Chiesa getting his back in the first and Rueniga choking him, being the first to submit him. Or I could see him maybe getting a couple takedowns and looking like a big favorite. Whereas I think Max Griffin wins, but I just have a harder time envisioning him like a dominating win. Like Max Griffin's path is kind of like close decision in a kickboxing match, stuffing most of the takedowns. I will pick that to be the most likely scenario. But if you told me, yeah, Chiesa got him down in the first and either subbed him with a rear naked choke or like had a pretty dominating round and then can squeeze out one of the next two, I don't know. I'm just not confident. It's a close fight. Surprisingly, Griffin's a couple years older, even though you wouldn't really picture that. Chiesa, is he still locked in? He's got this desk job. He's not – oh, I was going to say he's not very active, but, Griffin hasn't been, like, crazy active either. What can you really take from smoking Tony Ferguson in the year 2024? I don't know. Just so many question marks, and it's just a stay-away fight for me, man. I have a lot of bets on this fight, nothing on this. This is my stay-away fight of the card, but the pick will be Griffin. What about y'all, man?
Yeah, so for me, I've also been back and forth. Pre-tape, I had the same thoughts. And even after like a little bit of tape, I was like, all right, Max Griffin, slight favorite, kind of makes sense. I was even considering a play because he is the better striker. Chiesa striking, I think actually looks a lot better now, but I still don't think it's that good. I think Griffin is the better striker, clearly. And he has very good takedown defense. And even when he's getting taken down, he gets up really well. But then the more I thought about it and just watched it, I'm starting to think Chase is just going to grind him out for 15 minutes. Chase is really big and physical. He's been looking very strong recently. The wrestling is pretty elite, I would say. The jiu-jitsu is really high level. And with him, he only really needs one takedown to win the round because his control is really good. Whether he takes the back or not, usually his control is very solid. I mean, it wasn't with Vicente Luque, but that happens. For the most part, it is. And I just kind of feel like this isn't going to be on the feet for long. I just think Chase is going to be shooting the whole time. It's not like Griffin is a huge choke threat. He's not really going to be throwing up anything. Maybe he goes for the occasional guillotine. I don't think he's going to get it. So, yeah, I'm starting to feel Chiesa, and I kind of wish I got the plus money on him. So what I did instead was I just played the decision plus 200 for a half unit, kept it small because maybe he subs him. I think it probably goes to decision. I think Chiesa wins. He's my pick now. So I played that small. If I get lucky enough and the line flips back, then I would maybe add something on the money line too. But yeah, Chase is my pick. Been back and forth about it, but I think the grappling is going to get it done for him. How about you, Tyler?
Okay, so I'm confused by something here because I saw Griffin as a bit of a favorite early this week, and I figured that line would keep going. It went the opposite way, which surprised the heck out of me. And it's because the same people that are now saying Chiesa is going to win this fight are the same people that were picking Tony Ferguson over him. The same people that were like, oh, if Tony could beat anybody, it's Chiesa. He's not in it anymore. He's at the desk. He's washed up, guys. And they were saying Tony could beat him.
Did anyone actually say that, though?
Yeah, dude. Hit up XBL on Twitch is his at Brian on Twitter. He has everybody's or not everybody, but most of the people's picks. How many people picked Tony in that fight? You can go back and look. There's multiple. It's like a real thing. And the people were just being like, if Tony can beat anybody, it's Chiesa. And you can't, like, at this number, I got to take Tony. And now, like, Chiesa, the guy that they were saying was washed up, beats Tony Ferguson, who's like, man, like, he's like, maybe a half step above BJ Penn getting beat up by some dude at a bar. Like, that's where we're at for Tony right now. So, like, it's not an impressive enough win. I think Max Griffin wins this fight, and I think he might even knock him out. Like, I feel like I'm not, like, mega confident, but, like, I feel like he's got more in the tank. I know he's older, but I feel like he's got a lot more in the tank. I think he's got pretty good takedown defense. And, like, I'm not sold on Chiesa just because he beat Tony Ferguson. And he was impressive, but, like, you know? So I'm going to take Max Griffin to keep it on the feet and land shots.
All right, fair enough. How about you, Prop?
Yeah, so I actually like the under 2.5 here. I bet it for a unit at plus 155. I think Griffin can knock out Chiesa, and I think Chiesa could sub Griffin. And I mean, to date, this is easily the best wrestler that Max Griffin is facing. And Jamar Wells just looked really weird against Griffin, and I didn't really think Griffin's performance was that great against Jamar Wells. And let's not forget that Neil Magny in the third round had his back in full mount and could have submitted him, but I don't really think Magny's submission grappling is on Chiesa's level. And Chiesa was able to actually out wrestle RDA for 15 straight minutes and put him in a couple of submission attempts. And he was even like attempting straight arm locks. And it's like, we aren't really seeing anyone try to like submit Max Griffin. The last person who was really to have so much success taking down Max Griffin was Colby Covington. And what happened in that fight? He was able to finish him. And like, who is Colby Covington finished since Max Griffin? Like, literally nobody. So, I mean, I think if Chiesa gets on top of him, I think he could finish him. And the way how Chiesa closes distance, it's just a little bit alarming to me. Like, if he goes for the body lock and if Griffin really sits on a punch and he throws straight, he can knock him down and knock him out. Like, Max Griffin really does have flash knockdown power in round one. So, yeah, and we've seen Griffin get tired before. If Chiesa gets his back and Griffin's tired, I think he could submit him. So, I really like violence here. I think it's a perfect under spot. Maybe Chiesa could ride out a decision, but I just haven't seen Max Griffin with anyone that good on his back and try to ride out back control. So, yeah, give me the under 2.5 here. I also like the Chiesa sub a lot as well at plus 400.
You come back from a 3-month hiatus, come onto our show, and bet against me, prop? Technically, I think you made the bet before I did, so it's all good. But all right, we can move on. Next up, we've got Cody Durden versus Joshua Van, and I'm going to start us up for this one, and I'm glad it's me because this is my favorite money line on the card. I love Durden here. I know everybody loves Van. He's the new hot prospect. I get it. I also think he has a super good future, super high ceiling. But right now, I think Durden's a terrible matchup for him. There's nothing I've seen in Van's grappling that makes me believe he can handle Durden. Does it look better? Yes. The takedown defense looks a lot better. The get-ups look a lot better. But against who? And I just think Durden is a much higher level grappler. I think he's going to go for the takedowns early and often. I know that recently he's been striking a bit more, but I think overall his game planning is pretty good. I think with Schnell, he maybe just didn't want to really grapple with Schnell because Schnell's solid off of his back. You could say the same about Bruno Silva. But Joshua Van, what the hell is he going to do off of his back? He's going to triangle Cody Durden? I mean, anything's possible, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I think Durden is going to wrestle. I think he's going to get the takedowns. I know people have concerns about his cardio, but so far he's pulled through every time anyways. Even in the third round when he looks a little bit tired, he's still grinding, he's still shooting. And yeah, Van will probably be most live in the third round if we get that far. I've even considered a round 3, KO Van hedge. Maybe I'll do it. I don't think the line's that good, though. It's probably like plus 1,200 or something. I didn't check. That's just a guess. But overall, I just think Durden's going to completely outgrind him, maybe even sub him. I wouldn't be shocked. I know the only time Van got subbed, it was like his, 4th or 5th or 3rd pro fight. And you can kind of put that away. Yeah, he was also like 20, but he's 23 now. He's not that much older. And I think Durden has the best jiu-jitsu out of anybody who he's fought so far in the UFC or outside. And I do think he's very live to sub him. And on the feet, Durden's improved a lot too. As a Durden better, do I want him to strike with Van? No, I do not. That would make me very anxious. But I do like the fact that he can strike to set up the takedowns, so he's not just panic shooting the entire fight. So I do have 2 units on Durden at plus 140, and I like it quite a bit. Thinking about adding the sub prop on Durden too, but we'll see. How about you, Tyler?
Okay, so I'm a huge Cody Durden fan. In fact, I've bet him in every single fight that he's been in the UFC. Actually, I don't think I bet his debut because it was like a short notice thing. I don't think I got around to it. But other than that, I bet on him in every single fight. So I'm netting very much positive on him because he's almost always an underdog. And except for against Schnell. He's a favorite there, but that makes sense. But anyway, I bet on him almost every fight. Actually, every fight. And I can't here because Cody Durden, a couple things. His striking is getting really good. And I think that's the worst thing that could ever happen to him because dude wants to strike now because it's fun. And it's also like less exhausting than wrestling because like wrestling's exhausting, but it's fun to strike and like knock people out and stuff like that. And I think he's fallen in love with his hands. And I think that's a problem. I think he's going to come out here and try to strike. If I knew for a fact that Cody Durden was going to be the old Cody Durden, the one that was from like 3 or 4 fights ago, where he's going to come out and shoot, get 13 takedowns and like be your massive DraftKings scorer because he's going to land 13 takedowns out of like 20 some. Great. I'd bet him for sure. But I don't know that he's going to do that. And I'm afraid he's going to go out there and strike. So I have to pick Joshua Van because I think Cody Durden's going to try to strike with Joshua Van. And I think in the first round, it's going to go well for him and that's what's going to make it worse because Durden's going to have success striking with Josh Van in the first round. And it's going to be horrible for him after that. So I've got to take Josh Van and I hate it because I do like Cody Durden. I'm a big Cody Durden fan. I've got to take Van because I don't think Durden can strike with him. And I think he's not going to wrestle like he should.
But bro, the people he's not wrestling makes sense. Tagir, would you want to wrestle Tagir? Would you want to wrestle Bruno Silva?
That's how you stop Tagir from wrestling you, is you have to wrestle him.
I mean, he did try a little bit, but at the end of the day, like probably best not to wrestle with Tagir. That's going to be a waste of energy. Bruno Silva, why the hell would you wrestle with Bruno Silva?
Silva, maybe, but like.
And Schnell, the same thing. It's more of a threat. Like with Schnell, it makes the most sense to strike with him when he's literally getting knocked out every single fight.
Yeah, but you could ground and pound him out just as easy. Like Schnell is dangerous on the feet too.
But then there's the risk. If he didn't feel there was a risk on the feet, what's the point of shooting?
There was definitely a risk. He got cracked.
He did get cracked, but that's how he felt. I'm talking about how he might have felt.
Yeah, well, he felt wrong. If Schnell cracking you like that, dude, like that's a problem.
Hey, Schnell always had hands. Schnell has always
got
had
great
hands.
offense. He just fucking
always had boxing.
Yeah,
Schnell. I maintain Schnell in terms of pure skill is still one of the best flyweights in my opinion in the UFC. He just doesn't have the chin or the durability or how do they say it? The hardware anymore.
Yeah. He's got all the heart in the world. It's just it doesn't work if you're unconscious. So, but no, like maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm not going to bet Josh Van. That'd be a bad idea. But like, I just can't take Cody Durden in a fight where I'm afraid he's going to go out there and try to box with the guy that's probably going to box his ears in. So I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'll be happy. I am a Cody Durden fan. I'm rooting for Cody Durden all the time. I like Josh Van too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just afraid this is a bad one for him.
Fair enough. How about you, Prop?
Yeah, I'm with you, Catch. I like Durden here. I'm on him for a unit at plus 140. I think his striking has gotten a lot better. And I mean, he's been sparring all camp with Pantoja, and I like that a lot going into this fight. I mean, we've seen Cody Durden and his back takes, especially against Charles Johnson. I mean, he literally back rode him for like about 12 minutes of that fight, and he was the one who actually kind of hurt Johnson in round 3 and pushed the pace on Johnson in that round as well. And his striking looked better than ever against Bruno Silva. He just got caught with a crazy uppercut. And I mean, Josh Van, don't get me wrong, the kid's very good, but this is a guy who came into the UFC, and we were literally talking about how this guy just started defensively wrestling 6 months prior before getting to the UFC. And who's the main guy that just retired in his gym? Daniel Pineda. So, like, who does this guy really have to have him prepared for a wrestler like Durden? Durden's training with Pantoja, like literally the flyweight champ of the world. So I just think Durden, man, he's hungry. I think Durden's going to come in here very hungry facing a young kid like Van. Like, I think he wants to get a top 15 guy again. And he took the Schnell fight. He was literally drunk. He said in his post interview, he was drunk at dinner. And he's like, oh, well, he's like, he woke up the next morning. He's like, oh, I took a fight with Matt Schnell. And he took it on 4 days notice. So he came in there and didn't have a game plan. He knew he had to go in there and stand and bang with Matt Schnell. And I think Schnell's a good boxer too. I know his chin's not good, but dude's got good hands. So yeah, but Durden's got to worry about the body work. He's definitely got to worry about the leg kicks as well. I would like him to wrestle, but Van's chin isn't that great either, man. Van's been knocked down in multiple fights. I mean, like he got knocked down last fight against Shirez. Dude's pulling for a leg lock in round 3. Like, I don't know what the hell that was about. Do that against Durden, you're just going to lose top control time or get submitted. So, yeah, give me Cody Durden here, man. I think this line is really good on Durden if he comes out here and outstrikes him and wrestles him, man. He could look like a really big favorite here. Either guy can look like a big favorite here. It's going to be a really good fight.
Yeah, and I also forgot to mention, I do have chin concerns with Van too now. Like, he got knocked out by Johnson not that long ago, then came back really soon and got hurt pretty bad by Shirez.
He is defensively irresponsible in the pocket when he like tries to get his hands off, man. That's when he gets cracked.
Yeah, not that Durden has the best chin either, though.
Right.
No,
you gotta kind of worry about both.
Yeah, but all right. How about you, Cody?
All right, so Cody Durden. I have bet him a lot. I did bet him in his debut. It ended up being a draw. It was up a weight class. Then I bet him against Jimmy Flick. That was a fluke. Get out of my face. I don't want to hear it. Then I bet him against Richie Long. I didn't bet him against Makayev. I bet him against JP Bays, Moda. I don't think I bet the Charles Johnson. I think I had the over in the Charles Johnson fight. But I bet Tagir, but I bet him by decision, so I missed that one. So I've been pretty good betting him. I do have pretty good I did hear from a pretty reliable source that when he took that Chanel fight, he straight up was telling the people around him, like, I'm just going to go knock this guy out. Fuck a game plan. I'm just going to go knock this guy out. And, hey, he did get clipped a couple times, but, hey, I mean, choked his ass out and made him retire. And I will say, Chanel, like we were talking about, doesn't have the best defense, does have good offense, can clip you, has good quick hands. And I will say, yeah, maybe Durden could come in here not shooting takedowns again. But it's not going to fucking matter because Van is going to sleep, baby. Cody Durden on the money line, plus 141. He could submit this guy. He can knock him out. He can win a decision. Joshua Van's won round one in his UFC career. He ain't winning round one on Saturday. So you got to bank on him to win round 2 and 3. If you're betting him, just bet him live because you're going to get a better line. So if you're on the Van side, wait till after round 1. He's probably going to get beat up a little bit. Durden has good boxing, man. Like, good boxing. He's got a power advantage. Van is not big, man. Not only does he not have much power, but he's small, dude. Like, this guy would be fighting at 115 if the UFC had that division. Durden, he's had a couple bantamweight fights. He's big. He can wrestle. He's going to be the stronger guy. He's going to have the heavier hands. I don't know if Van has a bad chin, but it's going to start becoming a concern because I was looking over this this week. It's insane. Who is this guy's manager? This guy needs to be fired because he has 16 fights in the past three years. What are you doing? Like, it's the fucking opposite of what he should be doing. He should be fighting once, maybe twice a year right now. In the gym, go fight some Kevin Borjas-like dude, even though he got hurt in that fight and almost finished. Fight that level of guys, then take 6 to 9 months and just get better in the gym, bro. What's the rush? You're 23 years old. There's no rush, dude. You should be in the gym wrestling every day, doing jiu-jitsu every day. Because I've seen regional guys put this guy on his back. Yeah, that was only happened a couple times, but he looked a little out of place there. And I'm sure he's getting better. I like Joshua Van. I'm a big fan of this dude's style. Super entertaining. Clearly a gamer. 16 fights since 2021. Insane work. But that shit's not going to fly up at this level. Giving away round ones every fight isn't going to fly at this level. Cody Durden, he was looking best ever against Bruno Silva. Hey, part of the game, he got clipped. I'm not making excuses. Part of the game is to not get fucking – I mean, he got lined up. I watched that like 2 seconds before the punch happened. I watched Bruno like line him up like a video game, like right here. I was watching the uppercut just get lined up to perfection. I think Cody Durden is going to hurt Van. He might knock him out, but I think he's going to hurt him bad at some point in this fight. I think he can take him down. I think he can front choke him to sleep. I think he could take his back. I think Durden's got way too many paths to victory to be the underdog. I think he's the bigger, stronger, heavier hitter. He's just got a lot of advantages to be an underdog, man. So it's one of my more confident bets on this card, man. I might even double down at plus 130, plus 135. You can find it a little bit on a couple books, maybe just plus 130. But I locked plus 141, man. I'm not going to get too greedy on a prop. I just think he wins, man. I think he should be the favorite.
All right, there we go. That's what I want to hear, but knock on some wood, Cody. Don't you?
I am a little scared because there's way too many people that are saying that they got Durden, and I hate that shit.
I've only heard one person have Van other than me. Only one. And I've watched a lot of everybody's content. Like, once I put mine up, I watch everybody's.
Because people love Van. So I was like, okay, cool. This is going to be – it always makes me more confident when people are in my comments like, Durden's getting knocked out, bro. I'm like, yes.
No, everybody's on Durden. Everyone.
It does seem
I wouldn't go that far. I know people literally trying to
uncertain.
I know people trying to bet Van by submission, so I know there's some
Oh,
people
wow.
believing in
Really?
Van. Yeah, in my Discord.
You think he's
That
gonna
doesn't
get a
count.
heel?
I'm talking the people that are making picks in these videos. Everybody's on Durden.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Maybe
Right,
it's a good thing. You never know. Maybe it's a good thing.
I mean, it could be. It definitely could be.
Yeah.
It's
Jeff
just weird
May
when you see
agreeing.
everybody on a dog. Is the only
But
thing.
yeah,
Like,
public
everybody's
dogs are
also on
scary.
Hoover, but that's
Well,
different.
Sounds like we're gonna feed the nation because we're in sleep, baby.
But all right, let's move on. We got 10 more fights to go. This one could be pretty quick because I think we've all broken this one down already not long ago. We got Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. Tower, start us up.
I'm always with you, boy. I'm biased as heck, so like, I mean, don't trust me too much here. Eric Anders is the dude. I like him a lot. Pals, I would say. Maybe not close pals, but we're pals, I would say. So I'm picking him anyway, but I also think he's gonna knock him out. I think the fact that you can now hit somebody when their hands are on the mat, I think what's gonna happen is on the feet, it's gonna be close. These guys are gonna be doing their thing, and at some point, Weidman's gonna say, you know what, my knee's got at least one more takedown in me. He's gonna try and shoot a takedown. Anders gonna stuff it, and he's gonna boot him in the face. I think it's gonna happen. So we're going Anders by knockout. I'm biased, like I said, and that's all I gotta say. Give me a boy.
Thanks for
All
breaking the ice, couch.
I got you, bro. I kind of knew you might be waiting, and I figured what better fight to spark it up than this one.
Then yo boy.
Spark up, but I got my pen.
There we go. Tyler, you're all alone today.
Yeah, I got like a thing of water right here or something. I don't know.
You got a picture of lettuce behind you. That works.
Yeah. That's Kendra's
Yeah.
lettuce picture. It's very
There
nice.
you go. There you go.
Yeah.
But, all right, prop. How about you?
Yeah, so I actually like Weidman here. Long Island represent. I'm on him for 1 unit at plus 100. I got him like a week and a half ago when the line redropped. I just feel like Weidman being 7-1 to decision versus Anders being 6-6 to decision, and how he looked against Pickett, man, he just did not look good against Pickett. Getting dropped against Jamie Pickett and being like barely able to take him down wasn't really that good of a look to me. I know he got him down in the late rounds, but I don't see him going out there taking down Chris Weidman. I don't think he's going to knock out Chris Weidman either. So, I mean, the way Anders wins a decision is by kind of cage pushing him. But I feel like if anyone's going to have success wrestling, it's going to be Weidman. I mean, we saw Jung Young Park defend about 19 of Anders' takedowns and not really get controlled at all. And Anders also got dropped against Barry Ute in round 1 as well. And also, Chris Weidman won't have to worry about outside leg kicks here. So I feel like that's going to be a really good thing for Weidman. So, yeah, I like Chris here. I think he's got the better hands. I think he's got good defensive wrestling to keep this on the feet. And 7-1 the decision compared to Anders and 6-6 at decision. So, yeah, he's faced a better overall competition in his career as well. So, yeah, give me Chris Weidman here. I like him to win this fight.
All right, there we go. How about you, Cody?
Yeah, I'll keep it pretty short and sweet because, like you said, I feel like we've all probably broken this down. Everybody's probably heard a lot about it. Yeah, take that dab, CT. But first of all, I did want to say I do love watching 138's facial expressions whenever other people are breaking down fights. I don't have to hear his breakdown because I know who he's picking based off the
Literally every time you could tell.
Yeah. But
wear it on my sleeve, man.
Yeah, no. I like Weidman here. I bet him the first time at plus 130, but I don't think I'll be betting it this time. The bookies were like, oh, okay, y'all want to bet Weidman? Well, we're going to go ahead. And that's the worst thing when a fight gets canceled. And then they're like, what other fight was that recently, man? There was a fight recently where I had somebody at like plus 190 and then they rebooked it and he was like plus 115. I can't remember what fight it was. But
that happened with the Zygmantis, Romashka, and Fletcher fight. Might not be the one you're talking about, but that's one of them.
Hey, that actually saved me because I was on Ramazka. And then,
Me too.
And then the second time I was like, I'll just pass. And then he got smoked. But yeah, no, I like Weidman, but now I don't have the Madison Square angle where if it was a close decision or if there's another eye poke TKO, they're like, I ain't see shit. You good, bro? I will say, like Randy Brown later on in the card and like Eric Anders for my boy 138, I'm biased here. Weidman's my boy. He used to be my COD duos partner. So freaking cool ass dude. It's rare you're gonna hear me pick against him. But yeah, I think Weidman gets it done. I think it's gonna be a close decision. I like the fact that I don't really think Eric's gonna be able to take him down. Maybe Chris can't take him down. I think Chris can land better shots on the outside, has better kicks. He doesn't have to worry about getting his leg checked and get his fucking leg broke again, because Eric Anders doesn't really throw leg kicks, doesn't really check leg kicks well. I mean, he's built like a fucking – there's one thing about Eric Anders is he's a tank. So, like, he's like, cool leg kick, bro. I don't give a shit about that. Like, I've been getting tackled by 300-pounders for 10 years. I don't care about that. But I don't know. I think it's close. I'm not confident. It's even money play. This and the Max Griffin fight are even money for a reason. They're hard fights for me. I don't have very confident takes. But I'll stick with my pick of Chris Weidman by decision, and I'll pass it over to you, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've been pretty much changing my pick every other day since the first time this was booked. I remember first I picked Anders, then I flipped it to Weidman, then they rebooked, flipped to Anders, flipped back to Weidman. And I'm going to stick with Weidman, but I'm kind of secretly hoping that more money comes in and I can get Eric Anders at like plus 125, because then they'll just give me an excuse to do it. Because I feel like Anders is a little bit more likely for a KO. I think he might be hitting a little bit harder. And I just really don't know where Weidman's at. I mean, Anders also probably on a bit of a decline. And the reason I switched from Anders to Weidman is this. I'm watching the Pickett fight, and the second Anders isn't comfortable on the feet against Pickett, when Pickett starts landing, Anders goes to the wrestling. And the wrestling looked phenomenal. That was great. I just don't know if that's a path here against Weidman. So I feel like here, if it's not going his way on the feet, and it wasn't going his way against Pickett, which isn't a great look. So if it's not going his way against Weidman on the feet, he doesn't really have that option to take him down. He might try, and maybe he can get it. But I think Weidman, even at this age, still has good takedown defense. Hasn't been tested in a minute, so maybe not. But I tend to think it's still pretty good. So I think he'll be able to keep it up on the feet. And on the feet, it's competitive. I think Weidman's striking is a little bit better. I think Anders is a little bit faster. Don't know who hits harder. I lean Anders by a little bit. But I really don't want to trust either guy. Definitely not betting Weidman at chalk at minus 112, even pick him, whatever. I would have understood it. Like, I know people were playing him at like plus 145 last booking. That I understand. And I would have done it had I taped it in time. But now it's going to be Anders or pass for me if they give me a good line. Maybe we'll get that pay-per-view steam. People will come on, start doing their parlays. Who do they recognize more? Weidman, they'll throw him on. He's a kind of favorite. And then maybe I can get Anders plus 125-ish. Then I would play it. But other than that, I'm going to pass. And I think that's probably the path to happiness here, is to just pass on this fight.
How do you think takedown defense translates if Anders just decides to run across the cage and football tackle him as soon as the bell starts?
Feel like he's not going to work.
His little
I don't
linebacker
think
route.
my boy Chris is going out like that, bro. I think you'd have a better chance of Eric just knocking him out.
I
Like,
think
if
he
there's
will.
one Weidman, he's a prideful guy, bro. Believe me, I know him pretty well. He don't even like to lose a goddamn video game, bro. He
Yeah,
will
you were
literally
saying
be
that.
serious on me for a second and be like, yo, lock in, bro. Take a dab and lock in. Like, he does not like to lose, bro. So I don't think he lose a fight, okay. But when you're a fucking high-credentialed wrestler like Chris, to get taken down,
Not taken down, football tackled.
yeah, that would break his heart if he was taken down, bro.
To be
That might
fair,
hurt
like,
as much of a loss.
Anders was tackling people much bigger than Weidman back in his college football days.
Yeah, they also weren't elite wrestlers that he was
That's true.
tackling.
But you got a good point.
And they're wearing like 200 pounds of gear on them, too.
Yeah, I don't really watch football. I don't know, but yeah.
I don't know if
think
it's that much. I made it up. I don't watch football either.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a lot of clinching, man. A lot of who can put the other person up against the cage, knee the body, just big brother the other. Like, let's see who can win that clinch game, because I think that's going to be who wins the fight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it makes sense. But all right, let's move on. Better fight, in my opinion. We got Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. Prop, who you got?
Yes, so I have a quarter unit on Randy Brown by decision at plus 575. I got it at like 2 days ago on Bet Rivers. I mean, Brown's 7-1 to decision, and his only loss to decision is against the current champ Bilal Muhammad. And Brian Battle is 2-1 to decision. And do I think Randy Brown can hurt him? Yes. Do I think Battle can finish him and push the pace on him in the third round? Yes. But I think Randy Brown can definitely bank the first 2 rounds. And I feel like if Battle's going to have his most success, it's going to be late in the fight. Randy Brown, he's really good at maintaining range. Battle hasn't faced anyone who's as tall as Randy Brown, especially with the reach as well. I think Randy has a good jab. He uses his right hand pretty good, good as well. Battle's going to throw a lot of kicks, but if Randy Brown can defend all the kicks, I think he's going to be able to just piece Battle at range for 15 minutes and win a pretty decisive decision. So I just thought plus 575 is way off, especially with the fight goes to decision, sitting at like plus 120 with Brown having more decision wins, especially 5 of them at the UFC level. Did he look a little bit sketchy against Turman? Yes, but still got the decision win. So yeah, plus 575 was off. I'm not on the money line, not as confident. So just went with the decision at a big number.
Yeah, I'm not laughing at you. I was looking at Tyler, and he's really doing the thing Cody said he was doing.
Dude,
I knew once I
pointed out,
pointed it
everybody's
out.
looking at me.
That's the second time, Tyler.
Now I can't help it. Now that you pointed it out, I'm just looking at Tyler and just dying laughing.
Yeah, like the audience isn't watching who's talking. They're just looking at my facial expressions now. I feel like I'm like under a microscope.
I knew that was going to happen if I brought it up.
I was like, Prop is going to think I'm laughing at him for his Randy Brown bet. I'm over here dying because Tyler keeps going like this. All right. Cody, what do you think for this fight?
Yeah, I mean, like I said for the last one, I got back-to-back friends fighting. And Randy, Randy's the dude, bro. He's honestly so freaking chill. Such a humble, good dude. Trains his ass. He's going to keep it super chill now. But trains his ass off. Been getting work in with the Danaher squad. People don't think about his jiu-jitsu, but he's got nasty front chokes. Obviously has the frame to friggin' snatch up a choke if you get caught slipping. And Battle does have that long neck. He does shoot some sloppy takedowns sometimes. Maybe Randy could catch him there. The big problem with Battle is, man, the striking defense, like he does not move his head. He's just got that like confidence of a young guy with momentum right now. And he just like comes forward, not thinking about defense at all. He's just thinking about causing damage. It is a little, it's always stressful watching your friends fight. But in this case, it's going to be fun because Randy Brown's going to put his ass to sleep, baby. Nah, honestly, the knockout, I had to do the same thing I did in the Durden fight. Make you think I wasn't going to be betting on my boy. But come on, you know better. Yes, I'm biased with Randy Brown, but stylistically, man, I think this is a good matchup for him. He's going to be, everybody's saying all week I'm hearing, oh, man, he beat the shit out of Juicy A. Go back and watch that fight, man. Don't get me wrong. I picked Battle to win. I thought he'd win. He won. He did well. It was a decent performance. Juicy A was touching him up a little bit at certain points of that fight. And I will say, my God, the difference in speed between Randy Brown and Kevin Juicy A is night and day. Randy Brown doesn't stand in front of you like a heavy bag. He's moving. He's using his footwork. He's got his hands. He could throw 7 punches before Juicy A could throw 2. This Randy Brown is a sniper, and the fact that Battle just doesn't have defense, doesn't move his head, doesn't really have great footwork. He shoots some sloppy takedowns. He is big. He can get on top of you. Good jiu-jitsu if he gets on top of you. Not the best wrestling, but if he gets there, he can do good work. Is he going to hold Randy down for 2 rounds? I don't think so. I think these guys are going to strike. And Brian Battle, man, look at how many strikes he's absorbing. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's getting hit a lot. You don't want to be getting hit that much against a guy with power, speed, quickness, footwork, just that one-shot sniper ability like Randy. Bro, I will not be surprised if Randy puts him to sleep. And I also won't be surprised. You said 575 by decision? I didn't see that.
It's plus 500 now. I think you can get plus 520 at the best odds I saw now.
Yeah, I think that's solid, man, because I was actually thinking I bet the money line on Randy plus 195 earlier in the week. Yeah. I was thinking about doubling down with a Randy decision only. Just because, dude, if this goes 15, but maybe it's better to just really double down and take just the plus 500 because I don't see Battle winning a decision, man. I really don't. I think if Battle wins, he knocks Randy out. I hate to say it. Love you, Randy. But typically when he loses, he gets clipped. I think if Battle wins, it's just he finds a shot, catches Randy. Hey, fair enough. It could happen. But I don't see him winning 2 rounds. I think if this fight goes 15, Randy's going to double him up on strikes. Maybe not double him up, but he's going to land the better shots. He's going to win 2 of these rounds clearly. I don't see Battle going out here and out wrestling him like I've heard some people saying. don't get me wrong. I'm sure he could take him down. Maybe if he really sold out for it, I'm sure he could take him down once, maybe twice. I just don't see him taking him down and doing real like round winning work with that. I think the rounds are going to be won or lost on the feet. I think Randy just he could knock him out. He could catch him in a front choke. He could take his back and rear naked choke him. He could also win 2 of these rounds. So give me the damn near 2-1 dog. Yes, I'm biased, but I genuinely think he wins the fight. Give me Randy Brown plus 195 on the money line.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I also like Randy Brown. I played him at plus 198. I mean, in terms of like a pick, like my official pick is Brian Battle, just because I kind of feel like he's got a good shot at knocking Randy out. I feel like Randy chin's kind of up in the air. He does a good job maintaining his range, fighting at distance, using his reach, but he can be caught. And Battle does move forward a lot. He's very aggressive. The striking has been getting better and better, and I think it's already really good. Mixes it up really well, goes to all targets. So I got to give credit to Battle, but I think Brown is going to be hard for him to find. I think at range, Brown's going to be better. I think he's going to be faster. And everybody's talking about Battle grappling. I'm calling it. I think Brown's going to go for a takedown or two, and I think he can get it. People sleep on his grappling, but he can wrestle, and he has solid jiu-jitsu also. And when did Brian Battle become some kind of elite wrestler? He rarely goes for takedowns. When he does, it's okay. It's not like phenomenal. It's just fine. And I don't, like Cody said, I don't really see him holding Randy down. So outside of knocking Randy out, I think Randy's super, super live here. Plus 198, I think it's ridiculous. I think even now, plus 185, the line just doesn't make sense. Wasn't Randy like minus 300 over Salikov or something? Like, he's been a heavy favorite over anybody who's not like elite. And now he's almost plus 200 against Brian Battle, who's really good in his own right. But I think it's maybe a little bit too soon to be making him minus 200 over Randy. Maybe he'll prove me wrong on Saturday, but that's where I'm at. How about you, Tyler?
One last thing before I let Tyler take, and I think he's got some points. He's been holding his breath over there, so I want to let him get to it. I know you well at this point, man. So I'm like, he's like, oh, I can't wait. So before, I just want to say one more thing. Like you said, bro, Randy's got like 15 UFC fights, bro. And yes, he's been chinned a couple times. To who though? Prime Vicente. What would Vicente 3-4 years ago? I'm sorry, I like Brian Battle. He'd have cleaned Brian Battle's clock, especially with that striking defense that he's got 3-4 years ago when they fought as well. And then JDM, and then, okay, the Nico Price one. Dude, that was – I know I said a fluke once already on this stream with the Jimmy Flick, Cody Durden, and I really hate using that word. But, dear God, both of those fights were flukes. I'm sorry. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, but that flying triangle, fluke as hell. Anthony Pettis, when he knocked out Wonder Boy, fluke as hell. And that knockout – Nico Price over my boy Randy. If they fight 20 times, Randy wins 19 of them. I know I'm biased, but he's so much better. Anyways, Tyler, take it away, man. Randy gonna clean this guy's clock, but tell me why I'm wrong, Tyler.
I do agree that Randy beats Nico Price 19 out of 20 times. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I think Battle's gonna break him. He's gonna come forward, land the better shots, knock him out, or club and sub him. I got Battle all day here. That's plain and simple. Battle's just gonna put it on him.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, Battle's. I don't. There's. This is the second time that I've been the only one on a favorite out of the four of us, which is wild. Like, I'm picking the favorite here, guys, and I'm the only one. That's crazy. But either way, yeah, no, Battle's gonna break him.
I think there's a lot of popular dogs this weekend. I know a lot of people on all kinds of underdogs.
And I'm on all the unpopular dogs, so there we go.
The usual.
I won't lie. That's typically good for you. I'm not going to lie.
Did you bet Ming Chi with me last time, Tyler?
What happened last time?
Were you on Ming Chi?
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. Okay, I know you bet Ming Chi, but I went back after you told me that I was wrong for saying – you did say that the pick would have been Xiao Chen in your video.
What did I say you were wrong at? No, my pick was Fang.
Yeah, because on Twitter, when I said that me and Pinky were the only people saying that that Ming Chi was going to win, and then you were like, "No, dude, I was on Ming Chi," and I was like, "Okay, you bet her," but like you said, Xiao Chen was going to win in your video. I went back and double checked.
Okay, Tyler.
Because I was like, "No way, dude! I watched his video because I was like making."
No, I
sure.
definitely picked Fang. Yeah, but that line was crazy. So I also thought Ming-Chi was going to out grapple her, not head kick her to death. But
I just said she was going to outwork her, which
Dude,
she
that
was
bet
starting to
had
do.
me written all over it, and I didn't do it. I typically women's MMA, I'm like, oh, you got a 3-1 dog? Take my money. Don't care. Don't need to see any details. Unranked women's MMA plus 300. Take my money. Don't care. And I didn't do it. And Tyler told me he bet her on Wager Wars.
I did.
And yeah, shout out, respect.
Yeah, I'm
I
like
didn't have any
10-3 on
balls.
that card though, but it's just because I'm a Road to UFC fan. Like I was watching it all live, so like I had a pretty good read on the fighters. And Ming-Chi was a huge underdog in every single one of her fights.
Every
She's
time.
winning. So
she's officially one of my new favorite fighters in the UFC.
She's awesome.
and she's good. And like another thing you can know that she's going to be like improving well. The girl's like a medical doctor, so it's not like she's dumb. Like so that's a good like she's smart enough to like comprehend like deeper concepts than like go over there and hit them in the face. Which
We
is
have
a
two
good
doctors
sign.
in the UFC
fighting
now.
away from her parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like hiding it
Definitely.
from her parents that she was a fighter until like, but all the like viral stuff from that knockout made it so that she had to tell them.
What's the dude's name from
David
Dana White?
Martinez, right?
Who?
The other one, David Martinez. He's the
Yeah,
other doctor.
yeah,
The other doctor, yeah.
Yeah. And he's
We have
also
two of
very
them
good.
now.
So
Yeah.
But yeah.
But all right, we can move on. Next up, we've got Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. I believe it's your turn, Cody. Start us off.
Oh man, this is a tough fight, man. Honestly, this one's been giving me problems because I really do feel like anytime you can get a champion at like 2-1, let alone better, it's just like this is a champion. This might be the best 135er of all time. I know a lot of people like to push back on that. Oh, he gave up. I get it, bro. Let it go, bro. It was an illegal strike. And it was a bad performance, but that knee was fucking brutal, dude. Like, I'd love for all these tough guys on Twitter to let me knee their head the way Jan kneed Aljo, and then go ahead and fight me for another 7 minutes, tough guy. Like, bro, I've been kneed by like 20% of that power to the head and been concussed. Like, okay, that might be a stretch, but I've had concussions, the knees that didn't look as hard as that. Like, dude, knees are not a joke, bro. I've ate knees, accidental knees doing jujitsu. And I mean, I've ate knees that were an accidental in class with shin guards on where the shin guard is covering the knee and it still fucking will rock you. That knee was brutal. Anyways, moving on. Aljo's super freaking skilled, dude. Like, he's not a guy you want to bet this type of the line against. So it's been calling my name, bro. But at the end of the day, it's like I see these freaking pictures of Movsar on Twitter, dude looking like he is just calling up the vitamin shop and saying, let me get one of everything. I mean, dear God. I mean, seriously taking his strength and conditioning very seriously on all the Brazilian acai and horse meat. But I don't know, man. I do think he's going to have a big strength advantage, but it's like maybe not big because but I will say Aljo doesn't have like, he's got crazy good jiu-jitsu and good like unorthodox striking where he can just pepper you with kicks and make it ugly. Movsar doesn't throw a lot of volume. So I think Aljo could have a tough time taking him down, but I think the best path to victory is probably like a kick-heavy decision where Aljo, I mean, typically he's pretty good at like just outlanding you on the feet. And yeah, he had a terrible weight cut in that first Jan fight. Plus, like, yo, if you're gonna fight that type of fight with Jan, like, bro, Jan is, yeah, he has a couple losses recently, but let's not act like Jan isn't one of the best. And I mean, people will take away from the rematch, but I thought Aljo won. I mean, I thought Aljo won. It wasn't the most entertaining game plan, no, but I thought he won 3 rounds, bro, against one of the best fighters in the division, against the guy who, I mean, would Jan be this much of an underdog? I don't know. I mean, I get it's a different weight class, but Aljo, maybe he won't have the physical advantages he has at bantamweight, but I don't think he's going to be at too much of a disadvantage. Like, these guys, Aljo might not be quite as strong, quite as big as Movsar, but I mean, I don't think he's like going to be getting big brothered at 145. I mean, yeah, Calvin's not a great wrestler. He's not the biggest, strongest guy, He's pretty big frame-wise, though, and Aljo was chucking him around like he was his bitch. I mean, yo, that fight was not competitive. He made Calvin look like a bum. And people are like, yo, I heard people, and I hope y'all didn't say this because I'm not trying to shoot shots, but I heard people saying, yo, that Aljo performance wasn't very good. Bro, what do you want? Like, if you're a fan and you say it's not entertaining, totally hear you. It wasn't entertaining. But people saying, like, yeah, I don't know, based off that Calvin performance, I'm like, what? Where he literally, did he get touched? Did he eat a punch to the face? I don't have a memory of Aljo getting hit. A perfect fight from a better standpoint is literally doesn't have a single moment of trouble and dominates the fight 30-27. Easy money. If you bet that, you literally did not sweat a fucking one beat of sweat. I don't know, man. It's a close fight. I think the line is wide. I don't know. I'm so torn on this fight, dude. Like, it's not in the sense of like the Max Griffin Chiesa or the Weidman fight, but this just in a different way where I feel like, yes, Movsar should win, but should he be this much of a favorite? I don't think so, man. I haven't been able to get to a bet. I wouldn't hate like a Sterling by decision, though, man. I really think that's probably his path. Everybody's saying he's sub or bust, but I really could see him pulling out. Movsar just doesn't do a lot. He doesn't separate. He gets into these close fights. He doesn't throw a lot of volume. He's not finishing anybody. It's 2024. These judges are terrible. If you don't think the fight's getting, I say this every week. If you don't think the fight's getting finished, do not bet anybody at -300 or greater. If you're betting a huge favorite, they need to finish. Otherwise, you're going to get gray hair when the judges make a split decision after you thought they dominated. So, I don't know. Right. Yeah, I'll take Movsar by a split decision, man, but the value's got to be on Aljo, in my opinion. I hate to say that term, but it is. Will it be a plus EV loser? I don't know, but I haven't have a bet yet, so I'll pass it off. All that to say, no bet.
All right. Yeah. So for me, first off, I want to little rant. It's kind of crazy to me how everybody is like mind blown that Evloev and Sterling is on the prelims, but yet every single time one of these two fights, everyone screams how boring they are and how much they hate watching them.
Ding, ding,
and
ding.
Then they put them on the prelims, and then they're like, what's happening? Why are they on the prelims? And Kron Gracie's getting set up to get killed. That's why.
And the UFC never listens to the fans, but then when y'all fucking bitch and complain every time these two fight, and then they listen to the fans, you're like, oh, well, accolades alone. It's like, well, pick a lane, bro. Anyways, go on. I had to. You're getting me riled up, bro.
Oh, man, I got riled up on my own stream on Tuesday. I was all by myself, and I was getting riled up. But, yeah, I've been kind of going back and forth. But the first thing I did was I parlayed the over 2.5 just because I feel pretty good about it. My only concern is that Evloev somehow manages to put himself in a bad position pretty much every single fight he has, no matter how much he's winning by. He's going to find a way to get himself in trouble so he can show how tough he is, I guess. But that's concerning for both the over and for betting Evloev. But so far, he's survived all of that. He is incredibly tough. He fights through everything. He's not going to tap if he's getting subbed. He's going to sleep. I think the over is pretty decent as a parlay piece. I think there's going to be a ton of grappling on the feet. I mean, honestly, I'd rather they even strike because I don't think they're knocking each other out. So that would be pretty good for the over too. I do favor Evloev on the feet. Sterling's super funky, really difficult to get a read on. So I'm sure he could have some success, and his output is good. But I think Evloev's going to hit harder. I think Evloev is a bit better of a striker. And I think it's going to be easier for Evloev to take down Sterling than I think it will be for Sterling to take down Evloev. Like with Sterling, we've seen him get taken down, right? We've seen him get taken down. If we're going to go far back, Stamen took him down a few times before getting subbed. Peter Yan took him down like 7 times. Those were trips. They were a little bit different, but still. And then Cejudo was getting him down too in a fight where I honestly felt like Cejudo won. And yeah, is Cejudo an Olympian? Yes, but he's also a 125er who went up to 135 and fought the 135 champ who was big enough to go up to 145 now. So to me, I feel like Evloev is going to be able to get him down. Is he going to be able to control him? I'm not sure. We don't see a ton of Sterling off of his back. Peter Yan didn't really try to control him. Cejudo was able to an extent. So I do think he'll be able to get control. His ground and pound is good too. So I just think he's going to be able to win the minutes. I think it is going to go over. So I do like Evloev to win. I like it to go to the decision. I think I am going to bet the split. It's plus 350. And I was riding the train today thinking to myself, like, I think I have a new split angle. Like, I'll bet a fight goes to split if there's wrestling involved, because judges right now just don't know. There's certain judges that score damage over control, like we're told is the thing. But then there's other judges that score control anyways. And then there's some judges who just don't know and they kind of just mix it up. So from now on, if I'm getting like a close fight and I know there's going to be wrestling, I think I'm just going to start hitting splits and keeping track and seeing if this new method works, because judges don't know what's up. And like Cody said, having Evloev, and I did end up parlaying his money line too, having him at like minus 240 is a little bit nerve wracking because of the judging and because he does stupid things sometimes. But I think he should be able to beat Sterling. And another thing, I also think his cardio is better than Sterling's. I think Sterling can tire out sometimes. And I think that if this is like a really heavy pace from the beginning with the wrestling, I trust Evloev's gas tank more than I trust Sterling's. How about you, Tyler?
It's one of the unpopular dogs. I think Aljo is better. I think he has better volume on the feet. I think he's a better grappler. He might not have better takedowns, but I think he's a better grappler. I think he's a better volume on the feet. Evloev puts himself in bad positions, like you said. If Diego just decided to tuck that ankle under the armpit, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. He would have snapped that dude's leg in half and it would have been over. But he was a nice guy, didn't do that. Either way, I think Aljo is going to win the fight. I think he's going to win outright. It's not just like a value play. I think he's a better fighter. People are acting like he sucks because A, they don't like him, and B, he got knocked out by O'Malley. Dude, yeah. I mean, he got caught by O'Malley, who's a sniper, and people are down on O'Malley because he lost to Merab. Whatever, dude. Like, if he catches you clean, it's going to hurt. So, I mean, yeah, I'm on Aljo. I think he's better, and I can't believe he's plus 2, whatever he's at now. I bet him earlier thinking that the line was going to get closer. It isn't. So whatever. Aljo should win this fight. I think he's a better fighter, and his only loss recently is to O'Malley. All right. I'd give O'Malley a decent shot of beating Evloev too. I mean, Evloev would be takedown dependent in that fight, much like Sterling was against O'Malley as well.
They said Merab was too, though.
Yeah, Merab's a different style. That's different because Merab doesn't have to succeed in takedowns for his grappling to win out.
But everyone was saying he was takedown or bust.
Who said that?
Everyone. I don't know about you, but
no, because he doesn't have to secure takedowns. It's like we already saw that, like against Piotr Jan. He doesn't have to secure a takedown. He just has to like
threaten it,
know that they're there. But that's not the case with guys like Mazar or like Aljo, where they actually have to get the takedown because they can't shoot 100 takedowns. Like, so, yeah, no, but I do think Aljo's better grappler. And I know you said the cardio. It's a 3-round fight. He's been fighting 5-rounders. I ain't worried about cardio. I think Aljo's going to have better cardio at 145 than he did at 135 as well. So I feel good about Aljo.
All right, there you go. And I don't even think it's an unpopular dog. I know a few people on Aljo.
And most people aren't because they hate him. But yeah, I get it.
He's a chill guy. I don't hate Aljo. But all right, Prop, how about you?
Yeah, I like Evloev here. I actually really liked his performance last fight against Arnold Allen. He actually hurt him pretty bad at the end of round 2. He had Allen wobbling. I like his takedown defense as well. I think he's going to be stronger. I think his takedown defense is going to hold up here. I think Aljo is going to be pretty kick reliant here. I don't know if he's going to be able to skirt the outside and like be able to just kick his way to decision against Evloev. Maybe he could like ride the back of Evloev because, as Couch said, like Evloev always likes to put himself in bad spots, but he always gets out of them. But I think he's going to outstrike Sterling to a decision, honestly. Maybe he hurts Sterling once or twice in the fight, but I don't think he's going to finish Aljamain, though. But yeah, like Evloev, I just think he's the better fighter, honestly. Like, I do like Sterling at 145, but I think Evloev is like a good challenger for Topuria, honestly. Like, I think he gives Topuria a pretty close fight. Like, I think it would be competitive. So
I think Topuria will kill him.
Topuria kills him.
I'm still upset because they were booked to fight, I think, back in like 2022, and it was pick'em. And I was gonna max Topuria, and I would now also if it was a pick'em. I mean, honestly, I hope Evloev cooks Sterling so we could get him at pick'em against Topuria, because that would be nice.
Yeah, definitely. I'm done with my breakdown though, so that was it.
All right, there we go. So we can move on. Next up, we got Vicente Luque versus Themba Garimbo. I'll start us off, and I think this line's crazy. I honestly think it's nuts. I went pre-tape and like early tape. I was like, all right, I'll just pick Themba because Luque, I don't know what the hell happened against Buckley. But then I really taped it, like especially today. I was looking at it, and I like Luque quite a bit. I already have the Luque sub, and I'm gonna add the money line. I'm just trying to figure out which way the line's gonna go because right now it seems like money's coming in on Garimbo, but I don't know how much more. So we'll see. I'm historically terrible at reading line movement. I get reverse CLV like it's my job, and I prefer it that way because I always lose my bets that have CLV. It's just a curse. But I think this line doesn't make sense. Themba hasn't beaten anybody good, in my opinion. Against Nico Price, it even looked like he was slowing down towards the end of the second round. In the third round, he looked slower. I think that he's going to be pretty wrestling dependent here. I think Luque's takedown defense is pretty solid. I don't really think he's going to get easy takedowns. I think Themba might gas trying to get all those takedowns. I think really the only edge he has is the athleticism. And honestly, I like the fact that I know he's going to shoot a lot because I know Luque's got good front chokes. I know he's going to threaten them, and I know he's going to get a lot of opportunities for them because Themba's going to shoot a lot. And on the feet, I think Luque is a much better striker. Even in the Buckley fight, he was looking good against Buckley. And Buckley, in my opinion, is a much better striker than Themba. Themba's coming along. I think he's getting better. Like you see more of a jab, the clean 1-2 down the pipe. He likes his teep kick. But as the fight goes on, it doesn't look that great. And then even at this point of his career, I think Luque is a much better striker. I think he's much sharper, much cleaner. I don't know who hits harder. Maybe Themba hits pretty hard. I don't know. Luque also hits hard in his own right. And I just don't think it's going to be easy for Garimbo to just grapple him like he did with Nico Price or like he did with Ramiz. And even with Ramiz, he put himself in some bad positions, gave up his back. Ramiz was a moron and fell off. But I honestly think Luque is going to sub him, but I think he can knock him out. I think he can beat him by decision. I like Luque quite a bit. And if not for the Buckley performance, this would be a multi-unit bet. It's probably just going to be one because I don't really know what happened there. I can guess. Maybe it was because Buckley was just a lot and he was very powerful and just Luque was ready for the door, or maybe he was worried about his head because he literally had a brain hemorrhage a few years ago. I don't know. But if that's it, I mean, I don't think he's going to be as worried here. Garimbo does hit relatively hard, but he's no Buckley. I don't think he's going to be as much of a threat on the feet. And I just think Luque is going to be more comfortable here. I think Luque is a much higher fighter. And yeah, I like Luque. How about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I can't take Luque. I mean, he could get the sub. He definitely could get the sub, but like he straight up said he's afraid to get hit, and like I can't back a guy that's afraid to get hit. So yeah, I gotta take Garimbo just for that. It's not like I think Luque is the better fighter overall. Like if we're just looking at skills in a vacuum, Luque is by far the better fighter. We're not looking at skills in a vacuum. This is a violent altercation between two people, one of which is afraid to get hit by his own admission. Taking Garimbo. That's what it is.
I love the breakdowns, Tyler. Today, super
Dude,
short. You got little zingers going on too. I love it.
Dude, I don't know. I'm so sore today. Like maybe I'm just feeling angsty. Like I woke up today and couldn't even turn my head to the side. It was like, this is about as all I can do it now. But dude, I sat in a massage chair for over an hour this morning just trying to loosen up. I'm so sore. I got like a busted up lip. I've got like abrasions all over my chin and forehead and like everything. Like, oh, dude, I'm so sore. I
gotta get one of them massage chairs.
I've got bruised feet even. Like, come on, dude. This is crazy. So yeah, I'm super sore. So maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just a little feisty.
I like it, Tyler. I like it.
Actually.
But how about you, Prop?
Yeah, so I'm just on the Luque sub here. I got it at plus 650 when it opened on Bet Online for a quarter unit. I just feel like if Garimbo shoots a takedown and if Luque is able to hurt him, and if he gets his neck, he's going to be able to submit him. I mean, I think it's his best path. We've seen Luque actually go to the wrestling more recently, especially after what he said in his interview is terrible. What Tyler said. I mean, being afraid to get hit and going into a cage and coming off this like bad brain damage, like it's just not like something I really want to back on the money line perspective. Like at plus 170 and at plus 150 range, I completely understand the bet here because it's a big step up for Garimbo. But yeah, I just can't really get to it at Pick'em. I actually lean Garimbo at the money line price of where it's getting to now. But I feel like if Luque is the win, he's going to submit him. And we saw him go to the wrestling against RDA. He even attempted a standing head and arm choke in round 3 against RDA, but RDA was able to obviously fight out of it. But we've seen Garimbo submitted in 50% of his losses. And as soon as AJ Fletcher locked up that guillotine and got it to full mount, Garimbo didn't even try to fight out. He just tapped right away. And if Luque could submit like Chiesa, I think he could definitely submit Garimbo. So yeah, I think the sub is honestly the best way to bet him, and especially because we've seen Garimbo get tired in rounds 2 and 3, and if Luque has the better cardio, sub 2-3 can be a very good look as well, especially sub 3. So yeah, I like Vicente here. I think he's definitely going to attempt a submission in this fight, or at least 2.
Now I want to know what Luque round 3 sub is, because I like my round
now
3
I gotta
sub.
take it for just calling it.
Does anybody else though also kind of feel like you can't really, like when you're watching tape on Luque, you can't really watch anything prior to the RDA fight because like it's not the same. It's just completely. It's kind of like kind of like when you're breaking down a Tony Ferguson fight and you're talking about like him fighting Anthony Pettis. Like it's like it's useless. It's not the same thing. So like I don't know that I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that feels like that. I just don't feel like it's I feel like you're watching tape that like is over of like a former version of that guy. He's just not there anymore.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. 100%.
Yeah, maybe he changes. It comes
Good
back
Dad.
and turns back the clock. So I don't know. But yeah, Daz had that line right away. Dude's on it.
But all right, let's move on. Wait, did everybody go? No, Cody
I think
didn't
Cody's
go.
still gonna go.
Yeah. So we'll be split on this one. I like Thimba. I bet him at -149. I do think Vicente, if this was booked like 3-4 years ago, I mean, he'd be like -300. He probably is the more technical guy, pretty much every aspect of the fight. Hey, take it easy, bro. Appreciate you tuning in. But it's just, man, it's a cage fight. And like we all kind of touched on, it's a cage fight. Durability, taking a punch is kind of number one. Being able to take a punch, being able to take damage in a cage fight. It's hard to look past that. Man, Prop, you got +650 on that sub? Because I talked about in my first video that I was looking at that +500. My God, I slept on that. Now it's like 4-1. But
yeah, I got
440. Nice. Yeah, that's a good line because I was talking about I would not, because we know Thimba's going to wrestle. So that only increases the likelihood that if Luque wins, it's probably a sub. Like he's got one of the nastiest darces in the game right now. So, I think that's probably his path to victory. I will say, though, push back on one little thing. I can't remember who, kind of some question marks about Thimba's gas tank. Yo, he did quadruple up on Nico and strikes, and he took him down 7 times. Like, I know it wasn't.
Yeah, but he landed 68. It's not like he landed 200. He landed 68 significant strikes, slowed down in the third. That's when he landed like 4. And he was already huffing and puffing at the end of the second.
He swung a lot of overhands in that round 1, man. He was swinging.
He didn't manage his cardio. He went crazy in the first round.
I feel like,
to be fair, he knew he was up 2-0, and then like Nico hit him like once in the third round. Like, I don't know. I mean, he landed one like good shot from what I remember, I think, in the third round. But I don't know. It kind of seemed like Thimba was like, I'm up 2-0. Let me take no chances. Like, and believe me, as a spectator, it's not entertaining. It's not fun. But as somebody who had a little bit of money on him in a degenerate parlay, I was like, keep on keeping on, brother. I'm loving it. So, I just think it's just a hardware advantage. I just think he's the bigger, tougher, more miles on the tank guy right now. He hits hard. He can take Vicente. Vicente's never had great wrestling. And so I think, if Luque, if he starts wrestling, it's going to be sub or bust. I don't know. I could definitely see him catching a sub. I don't hate that bet at all. But I think outside of a sub, I really don't see Vicente winning. So I laid a little bit of chalk. I don't do it that often. But, I like it. Not that the line's crazy or anything, but I should rephrase. I don't lay chalk on like unranked guys very often, but Thimba's right on the cusp though. He's got to be right outside of the rankings. But I think he's pretty good, man. He's got some physical gifts. He's not the most technical guy, but I think he can take Vicente down. So give me Thimba, probably by decision. But I wouldn't hate. I think he could knock him out. It just depends. He could knock him out, but I don't know. If Vicente's not just completely cooked, maybe he survives. He's always been tough, but like you were saying, that was old Vicente. Who knows what it is now? I mean, shit, if it was me, bro, you hit me with a good shot after I had a brain bleed and I got wife and kids at home. I'm probably saying, check, please. I got to be able to tie my shoes in a couple of years. So, hey, I don't even like talking about that injury because it honestly freaks me out, bro. Like, I hope he's all right. That's what really matters. But this dude's got a family. But we can move on, man. I like Fimbo to win. It's a cruel game. But, dear God, we still have 6 fights or 5 fights or something. Yeah, we can move on, bro. My bad. I'm yapping.
Nah, bro, you're good. All right. Next up, we've got Anthony Smith versus Dominic Reyes. And I believe it is Tyler's turn. Tyler, start us off.
Unfortunately, this is another fight that, like, if this wasn't like, if I didn't have to make picks, I would like this fight. Like, I don't know if I still don't know if I'd like this fight, but I'd like it better. Okay, so there's a lot of red flags on both sides, and it's really concerning for me that one dude is like approaching minus 400, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to bet either side. I'm not going to do it. I refuse. I can't. It's going to stress me out too much. I don't want to deal with that. Dominic Reyes I can't just, because he knocked out Jacoby before Jacoby was able to really crack him, doesn't make me think that his chin's all of a sudden great. So, okay. Anthony Smith is saying some stuff in some interviews that I'm like, oh, geez, like, dude, like, doesn't even care about winning anymore, it sounds like. So I'm like, wow, like, I don't know. But that could be good for him, though, because I understand, like, maybe what he's saying is he just wants to go out there and fight like it's a fight and not end up trying not to lose. If that's the case, I think Anthony Smith is very live as an underdog. But if he really just is going out there to collect a check, then obviously I don't think he's going to do very well. I know he's had a lot of stuff going on. His life, like, not lifelong, but like pretty close to lifelong jiu-jitsu coach just died, like, 2-3 weeks ago. The dude just had a heart attack in his 40s. That's out of nowhere, which sucks. Like, that's like, you don't want to do that right before a fight. But then again, some people, you see that happen to them where, like, somebody really close to them dies and they come out there and have the performance of their life. So this fight just has me all over the place. I got to pick Anthony Smith because I like the guy. So I'm going to take Anthony Smith. And like, in my comment section, I preface this by saying I'm picking Anthony Smith because I like the guy. And everybody's like, dude, that pick's wild, bro. Like, I can't believe you picked Anthony Smith. I'm like, dude, are you dumb? Did you not listen to this? Are you stupid? Get out of here. Go watch somebody else's video, you loser. But either way, I'm picking Anthony Smith. Everybody in the comments can fight me. It's fine. I don't feel good about either side, though. So whatever. Anthony Smith.
All right. Real quick. What's good, Jake? Thanks for tuning in. Prop, what do you think?
Yeah, so no bet for me on this fight, so I'll be quick, but I'm just gonna pick Reyes here. I mean, that interview with Smith, man, I didn't really like it at all. I actually listened to Dominic Reyes' full interview. He really sounds good, man. I mean, he sounds there good mentally. He says that he's fixed the mistakes of being a wild man and keeping his range and being a smarter fighter and finding himself at the Pereira camp. Once again, he obviously wants to get back in the title race. And yeah, so Smith's just here for a paycheck. And I think Reyes is going to knock him out. I don't know when it's going to be, but it could be early. It could be late, but I like Reyes by KO. It's not really a hot take, but yeah, give me Reyes by KO here. I wouldn't lay minus 300 on him just because of the chin issue, but he should win here.
All right. How about you, Cody?
Real Fight Picks wasn't actually the one that I was referring to. It was somebody like earlier today, but I would have recognized because you actually have an avatar. But if you're one of them, then you too. Yeah, dude, we can fight. I'm just playing, dude. You're all right.
That's funny. That happened to me one time where I was in the live chat and I was talking about how people were saying some comment in some crazy comment, and I had never seen the guy in the comments once before. I thought the coast was clear to say it. And then the dude was like, I'm right here, bro. That's fucked up. I was like, shit, my bad.
You just say it. Who cares? What are they going to do? Come to your house?
Nah, it was honestly funny, though. The guy comes around a lot more now. But anyways, I don't know, man. It's minus 350 on a guy who's 1-4 in his last 5. That's right there is like, okay, tough. But then again, it's like, okay, let's look at the 1-4. He arguably could have beat John Jones, even though me personally, I didn't think he did. But John Jones kind of fights the level of his competition sometimes. It is what it is. He's done it a couple times. I'm so tired of hearing about that every time Dominic fights. Well, he beat Don Jones. We get it, dude. 5 years ago, he put on a good performance against a guy who fights the level of his competition sometimes. He still lost, and he couldn't let it go, and the fans can't let it go. That being said, I'm not going to give him too much flack for that one. The Jan fight, he did get his ass whooped, but that's Jan Blachowicz. Even like 3-4 years ago, Jan Blachowicz. And even in the Yuri fight, I bet him in the Yuri fight, he had his moments. He put Yuri to sleep at one point. Yuri woke up and proceeded to go back to whooping his ass. But I will say, though, I think you touched on this, Couch. People are like, hey, Reyes is back. It's like, because what? Because Dustin Jacoby ran at him and he backed up and went and knocked him out. Like, come on, man. Like, he didn't even look. It's not like he was flowing on his ass or anything like that. Like, he kind of just like backed up. Jacoby was coming at him, and then he just hit him with the us, and bro went down. Like, I don't know. It was kind of just shit happens in a cage fight. I don't know if they fight 10 times, if that happens a majority of the times. I'm not saying it was fluke or anything like a couple of the things earlier. I'm just saying not at all. I'm just saying, two dudes were in a fucking dogfight there for a second. Two big boys throwing fucking leather, and someone went down. I don't know if that necessarily means, oh, Dominic's back. He can take shots now. I don't know, man. Reyes, stylistically, it presents some problems. He's a big, athletic, strong dude that's tough to take down with strong hips. Anthony Smith doesn't have the best wrestling, but if he winds up on top, it's going to be a little dicey. I wouldn't say it's like, oh, Dominic's a fish out of water, but Anthony doesn't get a ton of credit for his jiu-jitsu, bro. He's got good jiu-jitsu and crafty, opportunistic subs. He's got like 50 fights, bro. Like, he's a dog. Dude's too tough for his own good, a lot of people would argue. So, I will say the interview, I try not to put too much stock into pre-fight talk, but it was a little bit of a red flag. I mean, it just seems like he's a little not all the way there. Maybe one a little checked out, maybe two a little distracted. But I don't know, man. It's pre-fight talk. Don't put too much. At least if you're fading that this time, or I mean, if you're not if you're on that side, at least you're getting a plus 300. Like, if the other way was around and your minus 350 was talking about shit that made you think he wasn't focused, then it's okay. This is a bad news, but this is a huge underdog. So, at least then it's not so bad, but I don't know, man. The pick's Dominic Reyes. I just think stylistically he's a tough matchup, but I don't know. Do you really want to bet minus 350 on a guy who has one win in the last 5 years? I don't.
And that one win is over a guy who's 1-4 in his last 5.
Yeah. And again, come on, man. Dustin fucking blitzed him and just got clipped. Nobody ever said Dominic Reyes didn't have power. That was never the knock on him. He's always been a hard-hitting dude with big left hand. And he did exactly that. Put a hard left hand on Dustin Jacoby's chin and he went down. We've always known he could do that. But can he take those shots? I don't know. But I'll pick him, but I damn sure won't be putting my hard-earned money on him. That's for sure.
Yeah. So for me, I'm picking Reyes also. I love to bet on Smith. I've done it many, many times, cashed him a few times, lost most of the times, but I do like backing him, but I can't really do it anymore. For me, the Delete fight was pretty concerning. Didn't really seem like he wanted to be there too much. And the thing with Reyes, we can't take a ton from the Jacoby fight, but I think it's good for him. Like I always said, the worst thing that could have happened to his career was the John Jones split decision loss. Like it would have been way better if Jones cooked him or something, because he just hasn't been able to let it go. But I think getting back in the win column, hopefully, is going to help him mentally. And even if he's not fully there, I'm still not super concerned against Smith. I just don't see Smith knocking him out right now. And I don't really see Smith being able to wrestle him for 15 minutes. I think that Reyes has really good takedown defense. And I have no reason to think his striking is worse than Smith. I think he's a better striker. I think he hits harder. So outside of Smith, catching him with something big, I think he's going to win. And I don't really think Smith is going to hit him with anything big. So I threw him in a parlay. I said, screw it. I threw him together with Evloev. 1.2 units, I think. Nothing crazy. If he dies, he dies. What can I do about it? But to me, it kind of felt like overthinking. Like Smith has just really not been looking good at all. And Reyes, at least, even in the fights like he lost, outside of Ryan Spann just bonking him, that was horrible. Like the Jiri fight, he still looked pretty solid. He went to war with Jiri. Like Cody said, he knocked him out. That was so crazy because you watch that back and you can see it. And Jiri admitted it himself. He was like, I went out. So that was nuts. But yeah, I think he should be okay with Smith. I think they're trying to right the ship with Reyes. He still has a serviceable record. He's not that old. But with Smith, I think he's just about done. I wouldn't be shocked if he retires after this.
On
All
paper,
4 of his
though,
losses. Oh, go ahead.
On paper, though, according to the Ryan Spann Index, Anthony Smith is 2-0 over Ryan Spann, whereas Dominic Reyes is 0-1 to Ryan Spann.
Bro, on
Ryan Spann
paper,
not good.
I was one of the ones when Oldberg and Smith was booked, I was on DraftKings looking at Smith 2024 champ futures because I was like, bro, honestly,
On paper, Smith's the GOAT.
on paper he could probably take down Oldberg, and on paper he could probably sub Oldberg. And honestly, I think even now, like he'll die probably 99 out of 100 times, but I think he could take down sub Pereira at least once out of 100 times.
Out of 100 for sure. One time, definitely.
Yeah.
Like
So
if he just comes out and just dives for it all 100 times, he gets at least one.
Hey, I love
Maybe
Smith. So
even
if they
10.
ever book that fight, I'll be in the front row so I can catch his head.
But
I'll be in the front row with a big basket. Just like,
but
I
like-
love you, Smith.
It wasn't that long ago Smith beat Spann, was it? Like it was like pretty recent, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like
it
the
was like
second time?
2 years ago or something.
It was either 23 or 24 the second fight.
Yeah, I guess maybe it was probably only a year
The
ago.
first
I'm trying
fight was
to
a
think.
while back, but
I was in my
Yeah.
old house, so yeah,
I
probably.
don't know. I'm not trying to say like Smith's gonna win for sure. I'm saying like neither guy gives me any confidence, but like, if we're going off the Ryan Spann index,
I
like,
still want to know why he thought Johnny Walker was attacking his family.
I think he's just trying to get himself into the fight,
I
honestly.
still think about that, and it's never been explained. Like that's like it's bothered me for a long time.
I do think he was just trying to psych himself up into the fight, is what it really was.
Kind of crazy, bro. He was like, "You
Dude,
attacked my family,"
Johnny Walker was like, "What?"
Like a fucking movie.
and to say that to Johnny Walker just makes it even funnier. Out of all people, like
That's true.
The
He
last
did not
man to come in and
understand.
attack your family, dude. It's goofy as fuck.
Dude, but if Johnny Walker ever shows up at your door in the middle of the night, you're gonna be a
Show
little
up in his
concerned.
fight pants.
If you land some on the chin, though, he might go out. Like if
True.
Johnny Walker knocks on my door, bro, just spinning wheel kick of off bucks. If it touches his head at any point, he's going to sleep.
And yeah, it's true. Smith's house did get broken into before that, so you got to give him a little bit of a pass too. Like dude's had a rough couple of years, honestly, like a really rough couple of years. Wow.
Bro, I always think about the Glover fight when he was like picking his teeth up off the ground. And
Hands him to the
Glover's
left.
like, it's
Oh,
just
he's fighting.
business.
Smith's a
Dude.
legend.
Pounding his head in.
Yeah, Smith has never not been tough. He's definitely tough. If we're going by who's tougher out of the two, it's Smith for sure. But like, who's gonna win?
I feel like he's still durable somehow. Like I always talk about this.
He
Like
has really good recovery, to be honest. That's
he's
why
been hurt and knocked
Like
out.
Arlovsky, bro. They got like 12 finished losses, but they're still somehow durable.
It's crazy.
When people also say that Smith's not durable because he got they say it's done because he got knocked out by Roundtree, but like, dude, there's no shame in that.
No.
Roundtree,
Yeah,
if he
those
hits
people are
hard-
what we call idiots.
Yeah, I've
Roundtree
heard some
wins
people say
to
that.
knock you out.
Yeah, no, Smith can still take a shot. That's for sure. So it does give him more time to land on Reyes. I'm just trying to make like reasons for me to go. I'm picking Smith regardless. Like you could do. It's just like I like the guy. Okay, like whatever. You could be like, look, Smith is fighting Pereira today. I'm like, I hate to do it, but I have to take Smith. It's not like I'm not. This isn't like an intelligent pick. I'm just picking Smith because I like the guy. If he wins, great. If he doesn't, like, okay.
I'm just happy Roundtree didn't drop that hammer down on my boy Anthony, bro.
Dude, that would have been so bad.
We wouldn't even be having this conversation, bro. Anthony would still be
He was
fucking
loading that from the heavens. It was like
Thor's hammer just above him.
Dude.
Like, I will end your life if they don't stop this fight.
that was rough.
man.
But all right, let's move on. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more fights.
Jeez.
Nate Landwehr, Duho Choi next, and that's a sick one. Prop, start us off for this one.
Yeah, so straight violence for me here. I'd like the fight doesn't go here. I got it at minus 160 earlier in the week on Bet Online. Yeah, man. I think Choi can knock out Landwehr in the first round. He might even grapple here, and he went for a lot of submissions in his last fight against Algio, which was pretty impressive. I mean, the Korean Zombie says that he has really slick submissions as well. So I mean, he went for a guillotine. He even got the back, went for a rear naked choke as well, but Algio was able to slip out. Landwehr, man, I mean, Landwehr is willing to just eat one and able to land one. And he literally said in his interview, that he's going in here to finish Choi, and he wants a fight of the night. He didn't get a fight of the night against Ige. He said he regretted it, that he didn't go kill or be killed in that fight. So yeah, I think someone's going to get dropped here. Someone's going to get knocked out. Or someone's going to get submitted. So, yeah, fight doesn't go for me. But on a pick, I'm going to pick Choi, and I'm going to pick Choi to win by knockout here.
All right. How about you, Cody?
Man, this has been another one of those where at least this one I get to sit out on the big public dog, because I swear to God, everybody I've talked to is like, yeah, Choi by knockout. And I'm sitting out on that one. But honestly, y'all have scared me a little bit. Because I bet Landwehr, I bet him, and now, like I said, I like to be on an island, so in that case, it's good. But I did bet him at minus 133. Shit, what's the line at now? I haven't looked at
minus
it.
120.
It's like,
Yeah, I knew I was gonna get reverse CLV'd on that after I heard everybody picking him. But it is what it is. I do think Choi's grappling's gotten better, but you brought up something he said, but what Nate said was, go ahead and try to whoop my ass. Or what was it? It was I dare you to whoop my ass. See what happens. And then he said, yeah, I might, or what did he say? I might lose, but if not, I'm probably gonna win. There, that was the best line, bro. I love Nate. And I try to set that aside. I am biased because how do you not love this guy? But I will say, the way he fights, it will open himself up to whoop my ass and see what happens. I love this dude, bro. But you hear him talk on the mic and you're like, that's his voice. Like the first time I heard him talk, I was like, that guy's white. Like just his voice does not sound like it's coming out of his body. But anyways, the way he fights, man, he will open himself up to be countered, to be clipped, to get finished. It's possible for sure. Choi's got power. He's got heavy hands. So I do like that under. I think that's cashing because I think someone's getting to finish, man. I could see Nate knocking him out later. I could see him finding a sub at some point with a front choke. I could see Choi clipping him, especially with that left hook, because Nate's been hurt with some left hooks in the past fights I've seen. And Choi's that's his best punch by far. So, I can see that angle for sure. I get why people are on him. I do think it's going to be a close fight. I just like the more well-rounded guy. I do tend to lean on guys who have that well-rounded ability, just more past the victory. It's kind of, especially on this card, been something I've leaned on a lot. I have bets on this card. It seems like a lot of my bets are guys that I just think have more paths. And I do feel like Nate overall is the better grappling, while I do think Choi's grappling's gotten better. And I just think as long as he doesn't get bonked by that big left hook, he should win the minutes, win this fight. It probably will be a finish, though. I'm leaning towards a Nate Landwehr sub. I feel like a front choke in like the end of the second round or something like that. That's what I see in my head. But it could go a lot of ways. I didn't want to get cute with it. So I did get a little reverse CLV, but I don't hate minus 133 at the same time. So what do you got, Couch?
Yeah, I tend to agree, honestly. I've been pretty torn, but I've been wanting to bet him since he's been like minus 140. And now there's a lot of line movement. I'm going to see if I can get the line to flip, because that would make me feel a lot better. I like Nate when he's an underdog, because I know he's going to fight for my money. Can he get knocked out? Yes. But if he doesn't and he gets hurt, that's ideal. And then he pulls through. He's like a great underdog. He always fights for your money. He's a tough dude. And like I bet him against Emmers. That felt great. And the post-fight speech was hilarious. But he's breaking guys like Onama, he's breaking Klein, he's breaking high-level guys, and Choi is a good fighter. And I could see him knock out Landwehr, but I feel like he might start to struggle with the pressure as the fight goes on. For me, it's like maybe it's like square to say, but I think either Choi knocks him out in like the first 3 minutes or Landwehr wins, whether it's a decision or a late finish. I think he could break Choi. I think he could win a decision. Now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of want to know what Landwehr round 3 decision is. That could be interesting. But because if he finishes Choi, I think it'll be a little bit later. I don't think it'll be early. I think it's going to be a nutritional thing, and then he gets him out of there or catches him in a sub, like Cody said. I could see that happening too. It's kind of scary to lay the chalk on him, even at minus 120, because would I be surprised at all if Choi came out there and knocked him out? Not even a little bit. And maybe even subbed him like a club and sub. I wouldn't be shocked either. He looked real good against Algio. That was an impressive performance. It's Algio. He's hit or miss sometimes, and his chin hasn't been great. But again, like Landwehr, also his chin isn't great. His recovery is good, and his chin gets better as the fight goes on somehow. I don't really know how that works, but that's how it works for him. But he is 36 years old. He's taken a ton of damage at this point. He's fought a lot of dudes, and most of them he's absorbed at least 50, 60, 70, 80, some of them 100 significant strikes. It's going to add up, and it is a little scary, but I do want to bet him, and I'm really hoping they give me plus money. If they don't, I'd still probably end up betting pick him because I do like the pace, the pressure, the output, and I just think he'll outwork him. But how about you, Tyler?
Look at that bicep. I gotta take Nate the Train. I mean, how do you not, dude? Like, I'm not gonna bet this fight. No way. I don't want to have the feeling of having a bet on this fight make me enjoy it less because it's gonna be a barn burner, and I just want to watch it for fun, and I don't get to do that very much anymore. So I've decided that this fight I'm just gonna do that. It's just for fun. But for a pick, yeah, give me Nate the Train. I like Nate the Train. I like Duo Choi. Choi's got some of the best killer instinct in the division. Probably like when this dude hurts you, he is on you like it's the last drop of water in the desert. Like he's right there. Like you're in trouble. Like if he hurts you, he's on it. So he's got some nasty claims. Like dude Nate can definitely win. But we're going with Landwehr because Nate the Train's in the UFC.
There we go.
Hey, I just wanted to touch the fact that you brought up that he could break him. I honestly think Choi got broke twice. I think that that Jourdain fight and that which one was that? Oh, that Stevens fight. It wasn't like he got over, he didn't get hit so hard that he went down and couldn't. It literally looked like he got hurt and was like, nah, I'm done. And that happens when sometimes guys are tough and they can go into all these wars. Dude, that shit adds up, bro. Look at Luque. Same story, bro. It's a similar story. These guys who are rely on their chin, rely on their toughness. Dude, you're a human being. Eventually it takes a toll. And I think it might be starting to take a toll. And that's why maybe Choi's trying to grapple more now. But I don't know if he can't, out grapple Nate. I don't know, because like somebody else did mention in the chat as well. Onama, Ludovic Klein, Emmers. Those are good wins. And yeah, Emmers had some moments, obviously, but he ended up getting his ass whipped. Yeah,
the best case scenario for Nate is getting hurt early but surviving. That's when he wins for real.
That was a hell of a fight, dude. That was a roller coaster of emotions because I had him bet in that fight, and dear God, yeah,
he did well.
Go ahead.
I thought he did well against Ige too, even though he lost that one. That was still a pretty good performance.
And
he hasn't looked bad in a single fight.
Other than getting knocked out by Herbert Burns.
Yeah, he was
knockout was kind of. It might have been a little early. He was trying to recover that other fight, now the Arosa fight. I know you were happy about that, Tyler. And
I love that.
That was late, but I thought he was trying to recover, but obviously it was a nasty knee. That has happened twice now. Something to think about, but yeah. I mean, I think Ige, if you're not top 10, he typically beats you. So, yeah, I think I think Nate the Train gets it done because he's in the UFC, bro.
That's right.
All right. There we go. Let's move on, though. Next, we have Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Cody, start us off for this one.
Oh, what a bullshit. I gotta start this one off first. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, man. I've yapped a lot on this. Let's make up some time. Can you bet Mitchell at -1,000? No, he was actually 5 minutes away from me a couple of days ago. Like, he came back to this little town I live in because he has family here, I guess, for Thanksgiving. I am a little worried about who he's training with. It looks like he's just like lifting weights with his boys. I'm sure he's getting training in, but like the pictures he's posting up are just like, oh, look, we're lifting weights. And he's lifting bales of hay. It's like, okay, well, let me see. Are you getting some sparring in with UFC level competition? But does it matter? I don't know. Chrome Gracie is even UFC level? No, in my opinion, no.
That was the point I was about to make.
Yeah, I could feel that energy. Somebody needed to say it. But, this isn't 1990 anymore. You can't just come out with the Gracie sidekick into a clinch, into a guard pull. That shit worked 20 years ago. It doesn't work anymore. I know, and just he seems. We were talking about freaking what's his name being checked out, Smith. Chrome Gracie's like, dear God, that might have been the biggest verbal red flag I've ever had before the fight. Or yesterday in the media day, it was like they were asking about the card placement, and he's like, I don't know, the earlier the better, so I can get it over with and get back to my life. I'm like, dear God, bro. Nobody's fucking forcing you to fight, bro. You're not a gladiator. Fucking go home if you don't want to fight. Especially on the main card. People sacrifice their entire life to get here. You're fucking nepotism, baby, getting on the main card just because of your last name. I don't like the guy, man. I really don't. I really rarely say shit like about people, like their personality. I try to keep it about the fight. I really like to root against this guy, bro. He's such a prick. He treats the media like they're just like beneath him and that they're all like, we're all just, bro, we don't even watch you on this card, little bro. You're getting that ass whooped on Saturday. And then hopefully we don't have to watch him in the UFC anymore. I'm tired of these guys getting in the UFC just because of who their name is. You don't belong in the UFC. Go back to the regional show. Throw a fucking punch. Learn how to fucking strike. You don't belong here. Bryce Mitchell is have a long layoff. He did get brutally KO'd, one of the most brutal KOs I've ever seen. So there's red flags on his side too. Those two, and the fact who's he training with? Is he training? Is he checked out? Because he's been mentioning retirement as well. I think this is the UFC saying, look, we like you. We gave you the camo shorts. You come off a brutal KO. Here's a guy who's definitely not going to KO you and has no power, isn't even probably going to throw strikes. Perfect bounce back fight. If Mitchell isn't cooked to bits, he gets the win here. What do you got, Couch?
Yeah, so I just want to say, by far for me, best part of the media day build up, all this has been Bryce Mitchell saying he doesn't believe in seatbelts. That's just so good. Like, bro, you really don't have to wear it if you don't want to, but you probably should.
It is the law though. Like, you will get a ticket if you don't wear it.
True. But if you're like in the passenger seat, not everywhere, I don't think.
No, dude. Like, I'm pretty sure, at least in every
not in the
state,
passenger, in the back, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Flat Earth, bro.
That's not the argument he's making, though.
His reasoning is that he wants to be able to escape. Like, it's just too good. Dude's crazy. I love it. But yeah, I don't have much to say. I think Bryce is going to win. I did make a bet on this, and honestly, I like this one a lot. The fight doesn't go. I got it at +170. I think it's a really good spot because I think Kron is checked out. I think Bryce can knock him out in the feet. I think he could TKO him on the ground. I think he could sub him after he's tired. I know he's a high-level jiu-jitsu guy, but so is Rodolfo Vieira, and he got subbed by Fluffy when he got tired. So I think that Bryce can break him. I think he will break him. And with the under, I'm covered because if Kron gets the sub, because Kron is a really high-level grappler, and Mitchell more than likely will end up shooting at some point. And if he gets caught, I cash it too. So I really like that spot. Can they go all 15 with Bryce kind of just staying safe on top, landing pitter-patter shots? Yeah, it can happen. But you're giving me +170, and I feel like it should be maybe pick him on that. So I like it quite a bit. How about you, Tyler?
I like Bryce a lot. Like, I'd always root for Bryce Mitchell. I don't care. Like, he's just so. I know people don't like him for whatever reason, but I think he's hilarious. I love him. He's great. I'm rooting for him here. Kron Gracie's an asshole. Like, straight up, just like miserable dude. Like, he's a miserable dude. Like, this dude's on the his photo is on the wall at the academy I train at with the owner of the academy, like all of my like people that are from there are probably going to be rooting for him. I'm very much rooting for Bryce. Like, let's go. Thug Nasty's getting it done. I think he TKOs him, honestly. I think he can. And people are like, oh, but if it goes to the ground, Gracie's live. Bryce Mitchell's like a legit black belt too. Like, I don't think it's like I don't think it's like, oh, if Gracie gets into the mat, he's going to sub him. I think Bryce can hold his own on the mat. I think he could probably even beat him on the mat because I think he's got the better MMA grappling. So yeah, give me Bryce Mitchell for sure. And I do like that it doesn't go because I think he TKOs Gracie.
All right. How about you, Prop?
Yeah, just took a little 0.10 unit shot on Gracie by sub at plus 1200. I know Mitchell is going to wrestle here. I know he's going to go on the mat with Gracie. And let's say Gracie actually does get a transition from an arm barring and does get Mitchell's back. We've seen Bryce Mitchell. I know it was back in the day in 2019, but Brad Katona, of all people, submitted this guy. And it was literally from an armbar series, and Mitchell was able to fight out of the armbar. And what did Brad Katona do? He took his back right away, and as soon as he locked it up, the rear naked choke, he tapped out. And obviously, that's Chrome Gracie's specialty choke. So why not? It's plus 1200. And Bryce Mitchell, he's not going to be like Jourdain and stay safe in the guard. He's going to engage. So yeah, give me Chrome Gracie by submission. There's not really people trying to submit Bryce Mitchell. And the only person who did, I know it was Ilya Taporia, and he was cracking him and he hurt him, but he passed right through the guard and got an arm triangle right away. So why not? It's plus 1200, only put 0.10 units on it. So taking the shot to win 1.2 units on it.
I don't hate it at all. Worth a sprinkle.
No. Then we'll have to see him in the UFC again. Dear God.
No, after this, just throw him out, honestly.
I mean,
they pulling guard again, get him out.
They cut winners now
every day, and I can't root for the guy.
I was there live watching that on the main card opener. It was horrible, man.
I was there too.
We met up there.
Duh.
Yeah, also like Kron. I think Cody might have mentioned it. Is like Kron doesn't even want to be here. So, like, he straight up said, "The sooner the fight gets over, the sooner I can get on with my life." Like, dude,
what? Prisoner, bro.
Like, what are you like? Why are you even here? Nobody made you do it. Just go.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I guess if you didn't pay, you might as well take the money. But whatever.
Let's move on. Next up, we've got a rematch. We got Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. I will start us off. I really wanted to like Volkov here. I really, really did. I love the dude. I think he's an elite fighter. I think he's one of the best heavyweights, but I don't think anything's really changed since their last fight. I know Volkov has gone off on a bunch of wins, but none of them are Cyril Gane. Like, none of them fight like him. The Pavlovich win, in my opinion, is really good, but Pavlovich is a polar opposite. He's flat-footed and just moving forward like this. Like, Cyril Gane, even now, he's still in and out. After that John Jones loss, like, everybody's super low on him. I think he was like only minus 150 against Spivak, and the movement was on point. I mean, he absolutely butchered Spivak. Spivak is a good wrestler, couldn't even get close. And I just think that the movement is still going to be an issue for Volkov. Like, in their first fight, Volkov was able to land on him, but not really super effectively, because he just gets in and he gets out, and he's a master at it. His footwork's really good, and he's really good at managing range. He knows how he can get to you and then get out. And he's really good at creating angles also. So I still like Gane. I think he is going to win. I don't think it's worth a Volkov bet. Like, in my head, I was thinking, like, okay, maybe Volkov could use leg kicks. And then I looked at the numbers from their first fight. Volkov landed like 50 leg kicks, and it still didn't like change that much. So yeah, that's a good weapon for him. Probably his best bet is take away the movement with the leg kicks and maybe try for some takedowns, because Gane's takedown defense has gotten better. I think it's actually very good, but on his back, he's probably still not that great. Doesn't seem like he knows what's going on. So that's, in my opinion, Volkov's best shot. Mix that together. But I honestly think that Gane's going to beat him again. I think it's going to be a decision again. I know rematches usually don't go the same way, but I just don't feel like enough has changed here. So I think Gane wins. How about you, Tyler?
So the thing I disagree with is that you said you don't think much has changed, but I think quite a lot has changed since that fight. And I'll elaborate so I don't just sound like I'm just being an argumentative person for no reason. Okay, their first fight. At this point, Gane is undefeated. He's shown literally zero weaknesses. He's run through pretty much everyone and looked fantastic doing it. There are zero chinks in the armor. Nobody's like, well, you know, Volkov didn't try this, or this. He didn't know what he didn't know. There was nothing. There was nothing to go off of. Nobody had. obviously had never lost at that point. So there was, and he didn't even look bad in any moments at that point, like forgot. So there was nothing to say, oh, I can attack this on this guy. So in preparation for the fight, you've got nothing to go off of. You just like, oh, this guy's run through everybody. He's looked amazing beating everybody. So you're just guessing and checking, and you're like, okay, well, what can I do to beat this guy? So you end up defaulting to what you're good at if you don't know what your opponent is bad at, because you're not going to assume your opponent is bad at something just because they haven't shown that as much as something else. So you might as well go with what you're good at. So I think that has changed. We have seen chinks in the armor of Gane. I understand they're not the things that Volkov excels in necessarily. It's just that we've seen them now. So now there is something else to that. Something else that's changed. At the time that they fought the first time, Volkov wasn't quite Swolkov yet. Volkov is much bigger now. He's a much like more filled out heavyweight. Which
I checked. He weighs in lighter now. I actually checked that.
Does, but if you look at the physique, it's a lot different. It's not the like. He's definitely a lot more like. He's got more physicality to him now. It's not just like being heavier doesn't necessarily mean like more like strong or solid. The dude's way more solid now. At least he appears to be. So I don't necessarily think Volkov wins at a high clip. But I do see a world where Volkov can implement the wall install technique and have success. And if he mixes that in with his ability to strike, which is very good, he's a very good striker. If you can mix in the striking with the walling and the stalling, I think he could get a decision here. And at the number, I'm going to take Volkov. I'm going to be a value boy in this one. I also really like Volkov. But at the same time, I'm not going to say he's going to go out there and wrestle. Could he? Yeah, maybe he could. But I'm not going to say that's what's going to happen. When you're 6'7", getting low on a shot is kind of hard. You know what I mean? But if it does hit the mat, Volkov's the better grappler. He's got good jiu-jitsu. But getting it to the mat's not likely for him. It's not a thing he does a lot. But I do think he can push him against the cage and win minutes there. And I think in the cage push, I think he's going to do pretty well. So I think he's going to have to mix that in. And I think at range, he's going to do enough to not just get run through. I'll take Volkov, and I'll probably get this one wrong, just like all the other big dogs I'm on this week, but whatever. Because the pay-per-view, on pay-per-view cards, oftentimes it's just like favorite city. Like we've seen that all year. But yeah, give me Volkov. So
I do have to put it out there. I just checked. Volkov sub is plus 2,900 on FanDuel.
Damn it. You're supposed. I was like, it's not going to make it to me before I talk about it.
Dude, I would love to see him get a sub, but like I don't think he just like I don't think he does what John Jones did. You know what I mean? Like
I'm probably going to throw a little something on that. I have gone in a parlay, but I'm probably going to put a little something on that Volkov sub. But Prop, what do you think about this fight?
Yeah, I like Gane here. I parlayed him with Ivalov for minus 120 earlier in the week. I just think he's going to win by decision. I don't think it's going to be really that tough of a fight for him. I don't think Volkov's going to be able to get the wrestling off, but that plus 2,900 is crazy if he does get him down, because if he is on top, like, God forbid, he might be able to try to work a submission. But I think Gane's just a much better striker than Pavlovich. Obviously has much better movement, as Couch Warrior said. I don't really want to add too much onto it, but yeah, I like Gane by decision here. It's not really a hot take, so I'll let you guys talk more than me.
All right, Cody, how about you?
Bad. All right, so I get it. Gane won the first fight. He should be a favorite. But I will just say there's 3 reasons why you at in the very least have to take that. Actually, don't. Please, nobody take the fucking sub. You're going to mush it. That's what happened with the fucking I thought I was like tinfoil hat. I'm going Alex Pereira by sub over Roundtree at some crazy number. And then Maddie Betts goes Alex Pereira sub, tweets it out. I was like, well, tear this fucking ticket up. There's a 0% chance it's hidden. So, hopefully that doesn't happen this week. But yeah, 29-1, bro. Cyril Gane. Bad takedown, bad wrestling. He's a quitter. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Straight up quit against John Jones. That wasn't a choke. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 10 years. I'm not tapping to that choke. To John Jones, I'm not tapping to that choke. Now, John Jones is beating my head into the fucking canvas in 10 seconds. Don't get me wrong. But that choke, no. That choke, I'm coming up on an underhook. I'm bellying down. I'm going to my back. I'm bailing completely. I'm doing something. If the fucking fight's on the line, Cyril Gane made 0 attempt at a defense. He didn't fight the hands. He didn't go to his back. He didn't try to come up and fight come up on an underhook or anything, or he did nothing. He said, "Oh, you're going for a choke, tap." Like, I'm convinced that he basically choked. I don't think he threw the fight by any means. I think John Jones entered the cage and he said, "Oh fuck, man, I don't want to be in here. I'm not feeling this. It's not my night. Let me get up out of here." John Jones did one little lazy takedown, took him down, put him in a fake choke, basically put him in a headlock, and Cyril Gane tapped. I mean, he barely even put his hands together. That was not a choke. I'm not saying there wasn't some pressure on his neck, but there was several moves he could have made defensively. I promise you that. Because I've literally watched that fucking choke from every angle 20 times. Cyril Gane straight up quit. Bad takedown defense. He's a quitter, and he has terrible fight IQ. Bro literally lost the Francis Ngannou, lost a title fight, changed the whole course of the heavyweight division because he wanted to sit back on a goddamn heel hook at 265 pounds. One of the dumbest moves we've ever seen in a championship fight. And, I mean, if you're giving me a guy I just can't bet you. Minus 350, I've seen this fight. I think he wins the fight, but I probably won't bet the money line. I think I'm just going to bet that 28-1 because I heard there's a couple books that are like 30-something to 1, but I don't have access to it. I'll look into it a little bit before I bet it, but 28-1 is probably enough for me. Do I think it happens? No, but this guy did just tap Tuivasa out to Ezekiel. Like, could he maybe gets on top of Cyril Gane? And I mean, if Cyril Gane's tapping to fucking nothing, then maybe a little pressure and an Ezekiel choke after he gets hit a couple times. And he's like, I'm out. Like, I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. Do I think that's the path? No, but at 29-1, and you're giving me 3 different red flags that push me in that direction, I'm going to go ahead and take a little something on that. I think Gane wins a decision because he hasn't lost a fight to a guy who's going to probably predominantly strike. Like his 2 losses are to the 2 guys who grappled. And I don't have a ton of confidence Volkov's going to grapple, so Gane's the pick. But at 29-1, you give me a guy who makes horrible decisions, quits, and has bad wrestling, I'll take it. 29-1, I'll take it.
All right, there we go, and we can move on. Next up, we've got the co-main event. It's a sick fight. We got Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Gary. Tyler, start us off.
Okay, I've had a lot of trouble with this one because similar to like I just mentioned in the last fight when Volkov and Gane fought the first time, we hadn't seen him lose. Well, we haven't seen either of these guys lose, so we don't have like, oh, this is how this guy typically loses, or oh, this is like what I've seen as like a big hole in this person's game. Sure, we've seen them in like spots that are like less than ideal, but they've been able to pull it off every single time, both of them, throughout their entire, which is incredible. That's fantastic. It's a hard one for me to call because like on one hand, I want to say that I think that when you compare how they've performed against the same competition, you say, well, okay, well, Shavkat's finished those people, whereas Gary didn't. But then at the same time, you can also be like, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a better fighter because you finished them, because like a dominant decision proves that it doesn't necessarily prove, okay, just decision versus finish doesn't prove anything, because you can get a finish with a less impressive overall performance than someone who had a very dominant decision, if that makes sense. I hope I've said that right. But
yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, good. So I don't feel good about the line. And like the closer it gets to fight week, the closer I keep thinking that I want to bet Gary, but I don't want to bet Gary. But I'm not going to bet Shavkat either. That'd be silly at this line. I'm still on Shavkat for the pick so far, like maybe because I just am too lazy to change it at this point. But like I could definitely see Ian Gary winning this fight, and like the number makes me want to bet him, even if I don't change my pick. Just like because like, I mean, he's very good. He's really good. But then again, so is Rakhmonov. But like, we haven't seen either guy lose. So for me, it's probably got to be a pass, unless I'm just taking a shot on an underdog that's a very big underdog. But at this point, I guess he's not that crazy. But I don't know. It's definitely not a small underdog. So I don't know. I guess I'll be going against what I've done most of the time on this card, and I'm going to take Shavkat, but I don't know that that's actually going to hold up. And there's a chance you see me throw something up on Twitter being like, guys, I'm jumping ship. We're going Gary. this is rough. Like, this is really rough. And I don't. Okay, yeah, Gary decision at plus 750 is legit. I might play that. I might actually play that. Oh boy, yeah. Okay, just move on to somebody else. I'll for the sake of a pick, I'll pick Shavkat, but I don't know this fight. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
All right. How about you, Prop? Do you know?
Yeah, I know.
He knows.
I hope I know. I'm actually on. I like Ian Gary here. I'm actually on the spread though. I'm on it at plus 5.5 because Bet MMA doesn't have plus 9.5 or plus 13.5. So I just took it for a unit at plus 5.5. So for it to hit, he has to, at worst, he has to lose a 49-46 and get 2 48-47s on the judges' scorecards, and he can't get finished as well. So I don't think Ian Gary is going to get finished here. I actually think this fight's going to go to distance. I think Gary can make it a problem here for Shavkat to find him. I like Gary's jab. I like his body work. I like his calf kicks as well. But I do think Shavkat can have success at holding Gary up on the fence. He's definitely going to be more physical, but I actually like Ian Gary's defensive wrestling more than I kind of like Shavkat offensive wrestling here. Like, don't get me wrong, Rakhmonov doesn't have like bad wrestling, but he's going like 1 of 4 on takedowns, then 1 of 5 on takedowns, 1 of 3 on takedowns. Like, he's only landing multiple takedowns in like 2 fights in the UFC. So I like Gary's takedown defense. I feel like him going to Brazil, going to all these camps, it's really good for him. I like him like mentally as well. He seems like he's really there. He's literally the only guy in the division who was willing to fight Rakhmonov on short notice. He had a main event lined up for himself, and he's like, screw it, I'll fight Shavkat. And they're former sparring partners as well. So he knows where he has to fight Rakhmonov here more than anyone. So I like Gary here. I might get to the money line too for a half a unit at plus 300, where it's at now on top of my spread, because I just feel like at the end of the day, these guys are both undefeated, and you're getting a guy at plus 300, and the other guy's being capped at like 75 to 80%. It could look like a really bad bet, or it could look like a really good bet at the end of the day, and we'll be like, wow, we got Gary at plus 300. So, yeah, give me Ian Gary here. I like him to win this fight.
Only thing I'll say, if you like Gary, I would definitely wait. They're gonna.
You think he gets? You think he gets to plus 325, plus 350?
Parlay boys are coming, bro. You're getting at least plus 350.
Yeah, wait the day for it. Yeah,
it's gonna.
People are gonna see OV Russian looking dude, and they're just gonna be like, add to parlay. Bryce Mitchell, Kennedy and Zechiku.
It's been that way this entire year for pay-per-views. Cool. Any favorite that's around like the minus 275 or higher range, people just blind parlay the day of, and I like all the lines have been nuts. So especially here, where most people are like who don't tape are just gonna lean Shavkat. Like I would definitely wait. I don't think you're gonna get worse than plus 300. I think it'll get much better.
Definitely. It was Dana White Contender Series. I cashed that. I can't remember which underdog it was, but I cashed him at like plus 250 or plus 300. Dude, if I would have waited like 5 hours, I would have got like plus 600. Like it literally just completely blew up. Like I was sitting there, I wasn't even happy. He won the fight, and I was like, whatever, fuck this bullshit bet. Should have made fucking 3 times that. But anyways, yeah, no, I think you made a lot of good points, dude. Honestly, I guess I'm pretty much on the same side. I mean, gun to my head, my pick has been Shavkat, but I feel like this line's way off, dude. Honestly, you got a guy who's 2 undefeated guys, bro. Like, I'm never a guy who really harps on wins and losses. I'm all about performances. But at the end of the day, this guy got in the cage 15 times and won all 15 times. And you could say, oh, well, he's not finishing him like Shavkat. Good. A lot of times I like that because I don't even know if Shavkat can go 15 minutes. I can tell you Ian Gary, I've seen him go 25, and it was a pretty high-paced fight. They were doing some clinching, some wrestling. It was a decent competition fight. It was like his last fight in Cage Warriors. And I mean, dude, Shavkat, like everybody says. So the striking, are you going to tell me if these two got in a kickboxing match that Shavkat would be minus 350? You cannot look me in the eyes and tell me that. So if you're not telling me that, then you're telling me he's going to wrestle him, right? In only one of Shavkat's 7 or 6 UFC fights does he even have 2 takedowns. And it was Neil Magny. And he shot like 11 times, if I remember correctly. I believe that was the time he shot it over 10 takedowns. Maybe somebody correct me on that. I could be wrong because I don't have it in front of me. But he took Carlson Harris down once. Yes, he knocked him out in the first. Okay, respect. He submitted Prazeres, 1 takedown. It was the second round. I get these fights are ending soon, but Jeff Neal couldn't take him down. He went like 0-4, 0-5 in the takedowns. And then even against Wonder Boy, bro, like I love Wonder Boy. That's my boy. But he took him down once. Bro, Wonder Boy was stuffing his ass. Like, that's 41-year-old Wonder Boy was in there making Shavkat work for those takedowns hard. I mean, that's kind of – Wonder Boy's been really struggling with the wrestling lately. And, I mean, you know, if I'm just saying comparison to, like, the Shavkat minus 350, the level of competition Wonder Boy's been fighting, like, typically if you're going to beat Wonder Boy, you put him on his back. And Shavkat could barely do that. I mean, he eventually did, of course. Yes, he finished him. He got it done. But, like, Ian Gary never lost. Never really been just ragdolled. He's barely even really been out wrestled. Kanan Song took him down twice. How'd that work out? He ended up getting knocked out. I get he hurt Ian Gary, but we're talking about that shit. I wouldn't be surprised if Ian Gary clipped Shavkat because the other thing, not only does he not have the best offensive wrestling, but he's super well-rounded, yes, but he fights like a guy who's 18-0 with 18 finishes. This dude literally walks forward like, fuck your punches. My chin's up in the sky. I want to watch these punches over top. I want to watch my work. I want to watch the damage I'm going to inflict. I'm not worried about your punches coming back. He doesn't put any respect on his opponents. His chin's in the air. He doesn't move his head. Ian Gary's a high-level striker, and you're getting him at 3-1. I bet him decision only at plus 200. I think
the line's still there.
It's still there. Actually, no. I got him at plus 210. Bet MGM, it's still there. At least it was like 3 hours ago. I actually think there's like I forgot. Somebody last night on Wager Wars told me there's like a plus 225. But plus 210 is still there on Bet MGM. Dude, Shavkat's never even been to a decision. Ian Gary has decision wins over solid competition. This is a 5-round fight. So that alone, I took that. I might end up with the money line. Like you guys talked about, like Couch, you said, I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait till like an hour before the card, and I'm going to see if I can get that Ian Gary 4-1 or something ridiculous. And it's going to feed villages, bro. I love Shavkat as much as everybody else does, bro, but he should not be this much of a favorite. We don't even know what this guy is going to look like at the end of a third round, let alone 4th, 5th. So too many question marks. If I'm getting question marks like that, I ain't betting a 4-1 favorite. So
Gary's been 5 rounds in the back of the day too. So
and
more round 3s than Shavkat. So
but I'll pass this over to you, Couch, though. But I think the money line side has got to be Gary, bro.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. It's kind of a spot though where I know there's value there. I know he's the value side, and I can see him winning. But I don't really want to do it because I feel like Shavkat's just going to pull it off. So I haven't done anything yet with a money line. I might also just I'll wait and see if I'm right about the line movement and I get something crazy on Gary, like plus 400 or higher. At that point, I'll be forced. I'll just throw a quarter unit or a half unit on it and call it a day. But I do have a bet here that I do really like. And I was really surprised. I beat the line on it, which sucks. I hate when I get CLV, but there's nothing I could do here. I took Fight Goes. Fight goes to decision. I got it at plus 310 on FanDuel, which I thought was an absolutely stupid line, and I put 2 units on it to win 6.2. And I really like it. I don't think either guy gets the finish. I think Rakhmanov's cardio will hold up. It's just gut feeling. We don't have the tape to prove it. That's just what I think. I think his cardio will hold up. I don't think Gary's knocking him out or subbing him, and I don't think Shavkat. I think if anyone gets a finish, I can see Shavkat knocking Gary out. But I don't think it happens at a high clip, and I don't really think he's going to sub Gary. I think Gary's pretty good defensively in the grappling. So I just think I don't need to sweat who wins. I just need it to go all 5, and I do think we're going to go all 5. But as a pick, I like Shavkat. I just think he's more well-rounded. I think he hits harder. I think the clinch work could be really good for him here if he can get Ian Gary to just stop moving. So I do like him to win, but I think if you're making a bet on a money line, it's very clearly Gary. He's the cleaner striker. He's better at range. He's faster than Shavkat, and he's better defensively. So on the feet, he's a better guy. I just don't think he hits as hard, and I give the grappling to Shafkat, and I think he will be able to get takedowns. I have to work for them, certainly, but I think he can get them. So, yeah, that's why he's a pick, but I do think the value's on Gary, but my favorite bet is fight goes. And we
Dude,
can
that
move
line
on.
got smashed. Holy shit, you got a good line on that. That Bovada got creamed. They opened it at plus 350, and it's like minus 170 now or something.
I hadn't even taped yet, and I saw Bovada had plus 285 or something, and I wrote in my Discord, I was like, "What is this?" And then they're like, "It's plus 310 on FanDuel." So I went and taped it real quick, and I went to FanDuel and played it. And I didn't really expect it to go down this much. I expected it to go down a bit, but it also kind of made sense for it to be like pretty wide because Shafkat's never even been to a decision, let alone 5 rounds. So I could understand that, but I thought that line was crazy.
Yeah, and I'm at plus 170, not minus 170. But anyways, go ahead. Who are we on? 138?
We're moving on now. We're up to the main event. We got Pantoja versus Asakura. Super hyped to talk about this one. Prop, start us off.
Oh, you're muted.
Of course I am. Of course I'm
We made it far without anybody doing that, though, to be honest.
Yeah, of course I broke the curse. I like violence here. I got the fight doesn't go earlier in the week at minus 190 on FanDuel. I put 2 units on it. I just think Pantoja is pretty live to knock out Asakura. I think Asakura is definitely live to knock out Pantoja. I think Pantoja can submit him as well. Asakura, that I've seen him taken down in his tape. He got up, but he gives the back to get up. I haven't really seen his jiu-jitsu tested against anyone like Pantoja as well. And we've seen Pantoja put people like Roy Val in bad spots and submit Roy Val. And I just don't think Asakura has the scrambling ability like Roy Val to get out of those bad submission attempts that Pantoja's going to put him in. And I just feel like Pantoja can be due to get knocked out, man. Like, he's just so hittable. And this guy Asakura, he hits like a truck, man. He's a 135er coming down to 125, fighting for a title in his first fight in the UFC. Like, the UFC wants this guy to knock out Pantoja, I think. Like, I think they want him to knock him out. He's got, I don't know how many followers he's got on Instagram. I think he has about like 3 million. So they want this guy to be like the face of 125. Pantoja's beating everyone in this division. So, yeah, I think this fight's a banger, man. I love this fight. I think someone's going to get finished here. Someone's going to get served. And I'm picking Pantoja to win by submission, but Asakura is very live to knock this guy out, man. But, yeah, give me Pantoja by submission. I think he submits him in the second round.
All right. How about you, Cody?
Yeah, I literally think the exact same thing happens. I got Pantoja round 2 sub. I haven't bet. I bet him at minus 240. I actually have him in 2 parlays, which I never do, ever. Like, I haven't had a fighter in 2 different parlays in, I don't know, a couple months. So I'm confident. I bet Pantoja's up there with me, probably top 10 at least, most profitable fighters. I've been betting him every single fight. I think he's still underrated somehow. People still act every single time this guy fights. People are like, and I'll allow the underratedness, but one thing I will not allow is the people saying he's boring. Dear God, open your fucking eyeballs. What are you watching? Like, oh, why? Because he's won a couple rounds with his wrestling, with his black belt. Like, 9 times out of 10, when he's on top of you, he's looking for the sub. He's trying to elbow your head in. On the feet, he's literally biting down on his mouthpiece, just brawling. But yeah, maybe this is the time. Asakura is a big dude. He packs a punch. Maybe he can be the one to crack the chin. I just, at minus 240, you're giving a guy basically classic puncher's chance. I'll take that bet. As long as Pantoja doesn't, if this isn't the time where the chin doesn't follow through, I think he puts, I've seen Asakura against lower level grapplers, much lower than Pantoja, put him on his back, and he survived not getting submitted against them a couple times. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. Don't get me wrong, Ryzen has some good guys over there. I'm not knocking the competition, but it is a step up. I'm not saying just to the UFC. I'm saying to the champ, to Pantoja, one of the best flyweights of all time, one of the best fighters pound for pound right now. And I think people are sleeping on him, man. He's so well-rounded. He's so tough. He's got the heart, the durability, the cardio. Even when he gets tired, he's a dog and he'll push through. Not only will he push through, he ain't just trying to survive. He'll come forward, throwing bombs, take your ass down while he's gassed. Pantoja, bro, built different. And still, somebody's gonna have to crack the chin. Until then, he ain't losing. I don't think it's happening Saturday. Give me Pantoja, man. Pretty confident.
Well, before I go, first thing I do want to push back on, you said that he's been out grappled by much lower level grapplers. Hiromasu absolutely cooked Pantoja on the Ultimate Fighter, and he's beaten him once. And then in the fight that he lost to him, the more recent one, I thought his takedown defense looked very good. Hand control was on point, underhooks on point, hips on point. He got taken down a few times, but he pops back up. He's faced good grapplers before, not just Hiromasu. Even Matoya is a good grappler, big submission guy. Archuleta, very good wrestler, stuffed his takedowns. I thought he looked good in that fight. And honestly, the more I pre-tape, I was like, okay, this is clearly going to be Pantoja. I'm a huge Pantoja guy. I love the dude. He's one of my favorite fighters right now, active in the UFC. Definitely one of my favorite champs. I love his grappling, super aggressive. And I do as a pick, I'm still picking him, I guess, because has all the 5-round experience. He is an elite grappler, and he's an absolute dog. So I do still favor him, but I think the line's wrong. I think Asakura is very live, and I did play plus 220. He's going to be huge, first of all. He's going to be one of the biggest guys Pantoja's fought. He's really strong. He's physical. I think the takedown defense is very good at this point of his career. And on the feet, I think he's a better striker. I think he's faster. I think he hits harder. And neither of them has good striking defense, but I think Pantoja's is worse. And Pantoja has taken so much damage at this point that I do think Asakura is super live to knock him out. I wouldn't put a decision past him. I think a knockout's more likely, but I think he could win a decision. Pantoja was on his way, maybe not on his way, but he could have lost that fight if Usyk wasn't a moron. I'm glad because I had Pantoja there, and I like him a little more than Usyk. I like Usyk too, but I just like Pantoja, so I wanted him to win. But I do think Asakura is super live, so I did play him here for a unit at plus 220. And I also agree with what Prop said that I think the UFC wants this. They don't always get what they want, that's for sure. But in terms of just narrative based, I do think they want Asakura. They really want to break that Asian market already. And here's their chance. They thought maybe they had it with what's his face? Just lost to Brandon Royval. Also
Tyra.
Very good though. Tyra. They thought they'd have it with Tyra, but he's gonna need a little more time.
There. I died on that hill. I planted my flag on that one.
That was a sharp play.
He's not.
I passed. I just passed because it was a crazy wide line, but that was a good play for on Royval. But in this fight, I do like the play on Asakura. I think it's a good spot, plus 220. But Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah. So it's a good fight. It's a good fight. It's a fun fight. It's going to be very entertaining, I think. I'm going to take Pantoja as the pick, though. I can't doubt the guy. Like, everybody keeps doubting him. He's won me so much money. I was able to bet this dude as an underdog against a guy he'd already beaten twice. Are you kidding me? That's stupid. So anyway, Pantoja's the dude. I think he wins this one, but I think this is a hard fight for him because, like you said, the size is a big deal. But a lot of people are pointing out a lot of things that are going in Asakura's favor, but they're not pointing out the things that aren't going in his favor. And they're not mentioning – I've heard a few people mention it, but not as many people are mentioning the fact that there's a lot different between the UFC and Ryzen. I'm not talking about the rule set. I understand that. But even the environment. When's the last time Asakura got any, actual cage grappling in a fight? Because they have a ring with ropes.
Get some on Saturday.
That's right. So I think that's a big part of it. Also, we saw some other people come over from Ryzen, and it's a big change. Like when Manel Kopp came over, it was a way big change. It took him a while before he got his feet under him, but even then, he still doesn't even seem the same as he was in Ryzen. So I do think that's going to be something for him. I'm not saying it's going to cost him the fight, but it could definitely cost him moments. I mean, I'm not saying he can't adapt either. Like, he definitely can adapt. I think Asakura is very good. I think he's very skilled, and he can definitely win the fight if he plays his cards right. But I do think Pantoja wins way more often than not. I think he has the ability. I think he's so gritty. Like, that dude everybody always says how tired he looks, but he doesn't slow down. He just keeps going. Like, the dude fights if you want somebody that fights for your money, Pantoja is going to fight for your money. He's going to fight for your money. He's going to fight for your neighbor's money. He's going to fight for your buddy's money down the street. He's fighting for his whole village. You know what I mean? Like, he's fighting for everybody. Like, the dude's fighting for it all. He's going after it. So I think Pantoja is just going to be able to outwork him in moments, and I think he's going to have the advantage because it's not his UFC debut in front of a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, Askar has fought in bigger arenas than he's going to be fighting at in this card. It's just different. It's different. Everything's different. Pantoja is an elite fighter, and everybody likes to count him out. This is like the first time he's like a big favorite. In fact, in the last Roy Vol fight, I think it was, he opened as like minus 240, and then he was like in the minus one somethings come fight day, and I was like, what's going on here? Like, I thought the dude was going to be minus 400. He'd already beat this guy, and easily. I mean, not easily, but he did finish him. So either way, yeah, Pantoja's my pick. I think he wins it pretty good. I think he's going to get to the mat when he needs it, and I think he's going to be able to do that with some of the cage grappling if necessary.
All right, there we go. Let's wrap it up. It's been 2.5 hours. I got to get out of here. So real quick, I'll let everybody go. Tell people where to find them. You guys know where to find me. You're on my channel, Couch Warrior Pod on Twitter. Tyler, tell the people what you got going on.
So if you like my stuff here on this here breakdown, you'll probably hate my normal content because it's a lot more like, PG and very clean. I have bullet points on a marker board. Like, I'm teaching like a classroom. So if you like that and this wasn't really your speed, that'll be better for you. But something you will get, I'm actually going to be on Best Bet for DFS by the numbers for, I think, the final time this season for me. This will be my 10th appearance. I am in the lead by a lot, so I got to defend my crown. I actually currently, not to toot my own, actually definitely to toot my own horn, I have the record right now for the most units scored in a season. So as long as I don't, actually, I think I could literally miss every bet and still hold that record as long as nobody passes me. So I'm trying to defend my crown. So find me over there on Saturday. Either 1 or 2 hours before the fights start, kind of depends. But yeah, tune into Best Bet and tell them that 138 MMA sent you.
All right, Prop, tell the people what you got going on.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at MMA_Propaholic. I got my Discord linked in there as well. Just bet the NFL game tonight, Packers versus Lions. Just actually went 5-1 tonight on the NFL and won 3.55 units. So had a very good night betting the NFL. Been crushing it the last week. So if you guys want to join my Discord, you guys can get my football picks for free. I post all my picks in there as well. Post all my breakdowns and bets in my Discord as well before I post them on X so we can beat the early lines. And Couch, thank you for having me on. It was great breaking down fights with you guys. And let's make some money, everyone. Let's make some money this weekend, everybody.
All right, Cody, tell the people what you got going on.
Hell yeah. I knew this was going to be a longer one when we hadn't even started and we were like 10 minutes in. But hey, we went long as hell last night too. It's 14 fights. It's a good card. We're chilling. We've been vibing. It is what it is. I appreciate you having me, man. My name's Cody MMA on everything, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. I do the breakdowns every week. Pretty much all I post or talk about is MMA stuff. So check it out if you're into that good stuff. I did my full card breakdown. I had Wager Wars last night. It was a fun episode. We had best fight picks versus Liam picks fights. That's a tongue twister. Last night, and then tomorrow night we got the Dogfather. Shout out, he's been in the chat tonight. He's taking on Evan, so that'll be fun. We got to get Propaholic and Couch. I've been talking to you guys. 138 has actually got the most appearances on the show. 3 of 4 were all short.
Yeah, 3 of them were on like less than 24 hours notice.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but yeah, we got to get y'all on for sure. Check that out, guys. You can check it in the live tab of my channel. I put timestamps in there after it ends, but appreciate you having me, man. We'll do it again. Appreciate y'all.
I'm predicting it now. Evan versus Dogfather on Wager Wars. There are going to be some funny arguments.
We're going to be cracking up.
You got to be there. That's going to be good. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Thank you all for tuning in. Peace out. Good luck this weekend.
Peace.